It cited jury tampering by Rebecca Hill, the court clerk. Murdaugh was convicted in 2023. At his sentencing, in which he got life in prison, he made this statement.
I'm innocent. I would never hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never hurt my son, Pawpaw.
Murdaugh was also convicted of financial crimes that will keep him behind bars for life. The Utah mom, Corey Richens, will be sentenced today for the murder of her husband, convicted of poisoning him with fentanyl. After his death and before she was charged, Richens wrote a children's book on dealing with grief. Inflation at the wholesale level surged last month by 6% year over year, says the Producer Price Index, led by food and energy costs. President Trump's arrived in Beijing for his summit with China's leader. This is ABC News. A harrowing rescue off the coast of Florida this week. All of those on board survived when a small plane crashed into the ocean. ABC's Gio Benitez.
The FAA saying it was a Beechcraft BE-30 that crashed into the ocean Tuesday, 50 miles east of Vero Beach, traveling between islands there in the Bahamas. Now, the Coast Guard swooped in there after the pilot declared an emergency and communication with the aircraft was lost. They located that downed plane and rescued everyone on board.
Surging fuel costs because of the Iran war are leading panicked consumers in hard-hit Asia toward rooftop solar power. Likely windfall for China as the world's largest provider of solar tech. In the Philippines, a survey of 20 local solar companies found a 70% increase in weekly installations. Donald Gibb, an American actor who appeared in cult classics like Revenge of the Nerds and Bloodsport, has died, according to his son, telling TMZ. Gibb was 71. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
If you're talking, they will hear you. Every single time.
Oh, we're getting killed.
Yeah, well, Kyle's not here.
How come?
Kicked off the team. Didn't Tim tell you? Kyle and some other kids got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. Zero tolerance. He's out for the season.
Come on, it's a first offense, right?
That we know of. But why should that matter? He knew not to drink. I've made it clear to Matt that's what we expect from him. What have you said to Tim?
Nothing really. You know, a lot of kids try it at this age, so...
Yeah, well, a lot of kids don't try it, too. I'm not saying that Matt's going to be this perfect kid, but if I don't tell him what we expect and why he shouldn't drink, how's he going to know?
Is everybody ready for this today?
I'm done. I'm here, brother.
But they hear more than you think.
Talk. They hear...
Yay. I was thinking about you this morning, Tom, and I don't know why it occurred to me. Tom Martino, he put the douche in fiduciary.
I'm gonna use that for my finance company.
Don't you use it for somebody else and not on the air. Golly, that's awful.
Through the parking lots. Police say a 17-year-old was driving a stolen car.
Walking down one of the hallways, and they called it a secure perimeter. I went into one of the rooms with one of my teachers. We stayed in there for the better part of an hour.
Police are still searching for the teen driver. The Denver Public School Board considering banning students from using cell phones throughout the school day. Each school now sets its own cell phone policy, many of which are already bell to bell, but the proposed policy would be district-wide. A new Colorado law requires school districts to have a cell phone policy in place by July 1st. And Greeley police are asking for help finding a piece of local art. A life-size bronze statue called the Prize Catch was stolen from Glenmore Park. The suspect cut the statue off at the feet to remove it from its base. That's the latest. I'm Brenda Stewart.
Now, impact traffic.
Yeah, we are still seeing delays to the east. In fact, westbound at Chambers, the left shoulder area is kind of blocked up with flashing lights. It's got traffic tied up back to Pena, so a little bit of a glitch in there. That'll take a few extra minutes getting through. 270 running heavy, especially west up through Vasquez. I-70 west from Colorado to Brighton. I-25 as you're coming in and out of downtown is a little slow, as well as up out of the tech center from Arapahoe and making your way up towards Colorado. Just a little heavy and slightly slow. It does open up into downtown from there. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why we make it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
$99 gutter cleanings. Go to excelroofing.com.
Now, here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, family. That's family. Enter it now.
Talking about the news.
That is good news, certainly.
Denver's talk station.
Wherever you go.
Come on, let's go.
Make 630 KHOW a preset.
That's a good thing.
On the free iHeartRadio app.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. This is 45 years of doing the Troubleshooter Show, fighting for you, solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. Today I have Brooke with me from, she's from, it's Alliance Roof and Solar, formerly Red Rocks. Alliance Roof and Solar. They do solar systems, primarily now commercial solar systems. Some of the incentives for residential have gone away. We'll talk about that because some people are confused about it. And we'll talk about what incentives there are for commercial systems and whether people qualify as a commercial system. Can you sneak a home business in there? Can you do anything like that? There are some really good things going on in the solar business still, believe it or not. And you know what? I say the people still in the solar business are the people who deserve to be there. They're the people that are steady and keep going. You know, so many businesses popped up with solar. Solar here, solar there. We've seen so many businesses. In fact, a lot of people say, wait a minute, solar, is that still a thing? So we will talk about solar today. I want your calls not just on solar, but on anything in your life. 303, this is the local number in the studio. You can call and get right through. 303-713 Talk. 303-713-8255. We also have our number that you can call 24/7. Now, I give that out because no matter when you're listening to the show, a lot of people listen, listen on a treadmill, like I say, or they're jogging or something. They download the podcast in the podcast form. They listen to the show and they wonder, I wonder about this. I wonder about that. No matter where you are and when you are, you can call 303 Martino, 303-627-8466. Is Major Marc Mager signed on? Major Marc Mager.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
What's
sir.
going on, Tommy?
Well, Mark, what is on your mind? Can you believe? Can you?
China.
China,
Oh,
or the Murdoch,
China and Trump,
and
I
the
hope they
Murdoch
get a lot of
conviction.
stuff done.
The Murdoch conviction. Oh my God! It was like thrown out unanimously.
Yeah, we all knew that was coming, though, man. My God, the court clerk told them, don't listen to what the defense says. It's a bunch of hooey.
Oh,
you can't
man.
say that. The lady's a moron and should be hung.
Man, she ruined the whole thing. So, I mean, he was found guilty on a bunch of other things. I doubt the man will actually be going free, but it was a shocker.
Oh, I think he murdered the family, but I swear to God, how stupid can you be working in a courtroom as a court clerk and be such an ass?
I know.
I mean, honestly, I hope she at minimum got fired.
I mean, sure, you're right, Mark. I mean, something really needs to be done on that. I wonder if she was fired. I never even thought of that. Our number, folks, as I said, 303 Martino, 303-627-8466. We also have a text line of people text us a lot. Again, I encourage you to call. We love talking about stuff. We had some very interesting cases that I want to warn people about over the last few days. But there is one that is really troubling, and I looked it up, and this guy doesn't sound like a great guy. Okay, this woman Shannon paid 50 grand down to Kevin Hamilton, BPS Construction. By the way, you'll notice on this show we use names, we use everything. We don't necessarily 100% believe everything, but what we do is we check everything out. Okay, and I will tell you, for some reason, this contract thing, it's just going crazy. We have to do something to strengthen the laws in Colorado. Prosecutors have to get aggressive. Anyway, here's the bottom line. Kevin Hamilton, BPS. That's Bravo Papa Sierra, BPS Construction. He thinks that he completed about 75% of the job. He's looking to collect another 100 grand from this woman who already paid him 50. She says maybe 10% of the job is done, and a lot of it's bad. But people, this topic brings up something that has been happening more and more and more and more. I swear to you, it used to be cars were the biggest problem we had, and then different things. But right now, bar none, and it's even all over next door, by the way, people who hire bad contractors. And what's amazing to me is the very forum like Facebook Marketplace or Nextdoor or all of these social media outlets, that the people are on there moaning about getting ripped off, right? And this is the very forum. Then they say, do you know anybody? And they use the same forum to moan about people and to gripe about people and then to find people. Let me tell you something. It's a Wild West out there. And there's a very, 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 very good chance, I don't mean a slight chance, there's a very good chance that if you use social media to find your contractor, you're going to get ripped off. Here is the number one problem we're facing now, probably for the past 2 years. People paying money to a contractor and getting little or nothing done. I'll bet you right now there are people listening right this minute. You've just made a down payment to somebody. And if you did, it's bad news. I'm telling you, you should never pay money up front for nothing, okay? You can pay for things as they progress or as delivered, but don't ever pay money for nothing. Now, people say, wait a minute, Tom, there's some people on your referral list that request money down, okay? I am telling you, I would not do it. I wouldn't. Now, I would trust people on my referral list, but I'm not telling you to do that. I am telling you to use caution. Use a credit card on big accounts. You can even set up an escrow account with a title company, or you can figure out a different way. You can pay as plans are done, as materials are delivered, as people start work, and as they progress in work. But when you get behind, it just falls apart. This is the number one problem. The number one problem we're finding: paying contractors money and getting little or nothing done. And it's a license to steal. These guys just collect money and they keep doing it over and over and over. And I am really trying to warn people when it happens. And I warn people, don't pay money up front. There are people that say this to me. Okay, I say, why'd you pay him 50 grand? Well, because he asked for it. He said it was required. Who required it? God? I mean, what do you mean it's required? There's no law that says you have to pay a contractor big money up front. What is the reason for big money up front? I always wonder about that. And here's another thing. Almost every single contractor violates the Contractors Trust Act. Do you know what that says? Listen to how strict it is. That if you take, let's say, $50,000 down, that 50 grand must be set aside for that job. You can't take that 50 and use it on another job. You can't use part of it on another job. It is in trust. trust. That's the Contractors Trust Act. It is in trust. It is not even to be used for general cash flow. Speaking of such, one of the biggest offenders of this were solar contractors. And as I said, most of them are gone. Brooke, the solar business, man, you see people come and go like the wind. I mean, the business, it's ferreted out a lot of people now, right? Not a lot of people still in it, are there?
No, most of the folks are gone.
Well, okay, so they would take. How many times have you heard, Brooke? I hired a solar guy. He didn't finish the job right. It was never turned on, or he never started, or I need repairs, or this. You probably. I know I send people to you. I mean, you probably get calls all the time, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We're probably funneling between 20 and 30 calls a week on different projects.
Just to help other people.
That were either completed, but now their system isn't working, so they need somebody to service it, and the company they went with is out of business, or the system's never been up and running, and we need to come out to help them get it going and get what's called PTO, or permission to operate.
Now that you've switched to mainly commercial, you do still help residential customers with service and people who need help?
Yeah, absolutely we do.
Okay. And then as far as commercial systems, we'll get into that. But right now, Elizabeth, she has an issue. Let's go to Elizabeth. And people, I will take your calls immediately. I'll try not to keep you on hold. 303-713-TALK or 303-Martino. Elizabeth, what's going on? What's happening?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I am, Elizabeth. What's going on?
Oh, I was just calling because that appliance factory outlet over there on Santa Fe, they sold me a Maytag washer and dryer.
Yeah.
And they ended up double billing me for the appliances. And when they came, those guys were in a big hurry, and they told me they didn't have the $29 for the to take the old dryer away. So they got me distracted. And I went and I called the company about, that fee. And they said, oh, we'll take care of it. And then that's when they ended up double billing me. And then the guys pushed the washer and dryer in while I was distracted. And they said I couldn't move it. And they wouldn't level it. And then when they finally got them to level it, they said, if you move it, those legs will break. So they said, you can't move it. So I called Maytag. Maytag said I could move it. And then I moved it out, and there was all these skid marks in the middle of it.
Okay, I want to ask a few questions, okay?
I tried all day to call them back.
Yeah.
They had their fax machine on.
Let me ask you a few questions, Elizabeth. Where are these? Is this a new washer and dryer?
Yes.
And where did you buy it?
I bought it at Appliance Factory Outlet over on Santa Fe.
Okay. All right. Now, when you say you were double billed, did you get that taken care of, or how did they double bill you?
Well, I mean, I went ahead because I wanted to get a little bit of credit. So I went ahead and did their credit card. And no, when I called, I called, it was still on there. But John over there at that Appliance Factory Outlet said it was taken care of last week. I haven't been able to talk, so I wasn't able to take care of things, as far as calling and getting really stuff done.
Okay.
I called the hotline number. Nobody ever called back from that. That was the week before, but I could barely talk then.
Okay, what do you have? Do you have the flu or something? What's going on with you?
No, this is from January, and then I coughed so much I lost my voice.
Okay.
I don't have the flu, but I'm
COPD or what?
Yeah, you need to get that taken care of. You sound very hoarse right now. So Elizabeth, right now, what do you need us to do? Do you want us to call this place? I mean, what right now do you need help with?
Well, I need help to get they're supposed to bring me a new dryer. They could give me a discount if they want or something. But
Okay. What's wrong with the dryer? What's wrong with the dryer that you have, Elizabeth? What's wrong with it?
Skid marks.
What do you mean by that? Do you mean like
Skid
it's
marks in the middle?
So you're talking about on the side of the dryer, on the cabinet?
Yeah.
It's like when you say skid marks,
outside.
it's like damaged.
Yes.
Hey, Mark, is Appliance Factory Outlet the same one that years ago we kept having complaints about, and they sell them without warranties?
It's calmed down quite a bit, but yeah, it's not that they don't have warranties. They do a lot of their own warranties. They sell some scratch and dent, but when she's saying there's scratches, are you talking on the floor? I mean, what are you talking about?
No, I think
It's
she's
in between where they slid it in. It's in the middle of between the two dryer and the washer. It's there.
on the floor.
Yeah, can you see it? Are you sure you? Boy, our delay is horrible today.
Yeah. Is it on the floor?
What's that? Oh, you can't. It's in the middle, on the side.
On the side. Okay. She's talking about the dryer itself. Can you take a picture of it for us if we wanted you to, can you take your smartphone and take a picture of it for us?
And also send us a copy of the invoice.
Yeah, Elizabeth,
Yeah, I can do that,
we'll
but
help you. Hold on. Axe, why don't you do this for us? Axe, get her off the air and talk to her off the air and ask her to get a picture of the damage, okay? And then also help us to help her to text it to us or to email it to us. Let's just do that, okay? I'll take care of. We'll call them, okay? It's bad news, really. Look, people. This is what I'm talking about. If you need help, give us a call at 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, or 303-MARTINO. This should be very simple, right? And I often wonder why people have problems. Why? Why can't a company just respond? We'll find out what's going on here. But this is a clear-cut example of no one's listening to her. Sometimes all it takes is for a company to listen to people. Nowadays, a lot of companies don't even take phone calls anymore. Or if you do, you talk to a robot. It's very difficult. It's very difficult right now. I mean, I think if a company came out and just did normal customer service, they would excel because people are simply that people are not making it. This is a terrible system we have right now. Retail sucks. Contractors suck. Car dealers suck. Now, I'm not talking about every single one of them, but we have such a bad state of affairs. It's like no one cares about anything. Okay, let's move on. We'll take your calls. We'll take your problems, questions, and complaints. I want to tell you about Frank Duran, the real estate man. Now, you want to talk about service. People love Frank Duran. Whether you're buying or selling real estate, call Frank. Now, he's going to do a free market analysis of your home right now for the asking. That means if you want to know what your house will sell for, ask Frank. He'll do a complete analysis with no obligation whatsoever. That's Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622.
Yep.
We promised you a first-class country music cruise, and the first sailing of Top Shelf Country Cruise delivered. The bar's set, and nothing less will do. In March 2027, we're setting sail on the luxurious Celebrity Summit, departing from Tampa, stopping in Bimini, Key West, and Cozumel. See performances by headliner Riley Green, Chris Young, Lauren Elena, Randy Houser, and more. Your favorite country stars will be on board. Will you be? Book any available cabin at TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
You want to talk about standing out with a spirit of excellence? That's Sheridan Auto Tech. Now, this is an auto repair facility second to none. They are wonderful. Uncle Kevin, I call him, takes care of his customers like family. That's why I call him Uncle Kevin. Listen, whether you have heavy or light maintenance or repairs, even electrical issues, Sheridan Auto Tech can do it, including pre-buy inspections. That's SheridanAutoTech.com on Colfax, west of Wadsworth, 303-455-7242. And you want to talk about heritage. What about a company that's been around more than 60 years, started by granddad, now run by the grandson? It is a tradition of excellence, and that's Gravina's. Gravina's has, listen to this, they have 50 lines of windows. So when you're looking for windows and a company only sells one line, that's all you're going to get. With Gravina, you can choose among 50 brands. Also, they have multiple lines of siding and doors. They have energy efficient, beautiful products and the heritage to stand behind them. If you're looking to beautify your home, 303 Gravina. Great prices too. Gravinas.com. How much time here, Shannon? Hello?
Oh, sorry, 3.5.
All right, I'm going to grab something to drink. Thanks. Do you want anything?
Get out.
Do you want anything?
Can I get a coffee, please?
Oh, you can get a coffee. Do you want a black?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're already hitting the hard stuff? Wow.
Always.
Drink the black coffee.
Hey, I'm a contractor. That's what we do. We don't know what cream or sugar is.
Right. And I'm an audio engineer, so I'm such a sissy. I just can't stop putting stuff into my coffee.
Oh, yeah. You get some Frappuccino awesomeness over there?
Sugar-free French vanilla, throw in maybe a Splenda or two, and then whip it up with a, not kidding, a Henkel's hand blender.
Ooh. Very
Right?
fancy.
The knife, the Zillinger. I'm just... My coffee is about the 10th gayest thing I do. Yeah, my...
What's the first gayest?
Yeah, I was going to say, what's number 3?
The guy would be the worst. Number 3 was going to a Maroon 5 concert and enjoying it.
Oh.
What?
My
That's not bad for number 3.
No, not at all. My kiddo is really into some of their songs recently.
Male or female kiddo?
Oh, he's 5. He's a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you go to Ball Arena for a Maroon 5 concert, plan ahead because they close all but one men's room. Well, I say close, they turn them into women's rooms.
No, they don't. Because there's so
They
many
do.
more
There
females
was
than
only-
men.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That might be
There
number
was
2
only
gayest
one
thing that
men's
you've
room
done
on the
then.
third level.
I bet they do that for Taylor.
You bet they do that for the abs? What?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, Swift. Yeah, I bet. I bet they do. I'm sure.
They did it for the weekend at Mile High.
I just want to know how women use those troughs.
I can guess. God, guess. Would you?
Oh my gosh. Are there troughs in there? That's hilarious.
My favorite is the Air Force Academy. The men's room has a waterfall wall to pee on. and it's huge. It's like 60 feet long. It is monstrous.
Thank you so much. I'm going to have to tell my husband that. That's going to be his first request.
What is that?
We're talking about
Got an itch?
there's like a waterfall to pee on at the Air Force thing or something. Like that's
I
what
love
the
to think
boys'
that my
bathroom
taxes
is.
was going to a giant pee
He
waterfall.
went to
It is a huge waterfall.
Dragon
The whole
went to, like,
wall
a
is
Maroon
running
5
water.
concert, and they closed all the
That
guys'
seems
bathrooms
unnecessary.
except for one because there's so many
I
more
have a
ladies.
picture somewhere if you
So we're
want.
just chatting about different bathrooms.
I believe you. Now, when you took the photo, was there anyone using it?
No.
Hey, Axe.
I was about to say. Yeah, what's up?
Whenever you, I'm happy that you messed up that one cell. You were able to repair it, but never worry about that. I also even have a backup of the call screener if everything gets screwed up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I noticed you fixed it. You did something and then fixed it, which is amazing. A lot of people don't know how to do that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it was you or somebody. The call screener, one of the cells got messed up, and then it was fixed. I thought you did
Well,
it.
normally what
Might have been
happens
me.
is there's a problem when we tell Tom, and he says, well, I didn't change anything except I reformatted it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
It's now in DOS. Great.
Video app that's red-pilled America.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-8255. Whatever is on your mind, give us a call. Elizabeth's talking about Appliance Factory Outlet. Listen, folks, one thing I want to tell you, whenever you deal with a company, you usually have a different company that does the delivery and setup. They're actually an independent company. And many times it has, well, not many times, most of the time, I should say, they're not connected to the company where you bought the stuff. They're two separate transactions. You have to really check with people on delivery and setup, how they handle it. What do you do if there's a problem? What do you do if there's damages? We'll get someone to look at this problem with the appliance. Axe, did you have her send us a picture? Are you going to get that? I would love to see what she's talking about as far as damages on delivery of appliances. Here's what I was trying to get across before we took a break. The state right now of retail, well, probably wholesale too, but I'm just talking about the state of business right now. Why is it that just basic customer service has gone out the window? What is it? What do you think people are just on a money grab? What's going on? Just common decency and just normal stuff. I mean, it's just amazing to me how companies do not treat their customers the right way. They ignore them. They don't call them back. A lot of companies don't do anything with complaints. They just hope they go away. One of the main things I think you have companies that just simply, they might know the trade itself, but they don't know how to deal with people. They just don't know. And this new trend that's going around where they don't take phone calls, they want an email, or they want you fill out a form, or you try to find, if you ever have a problem with UPS or something like that, and it should try to just talk to someone or to file a complaint, they give you categories where you have to pick and check categories and then drill down to your problem. It's almost impossible to explain a problem to people. They think they're being more efficient and they're helping. They're not helping anyone. It's just terrible. If you've ever had a problem with a company, that's when you know what that company's made of. Not when everything goes great, but when things hit the fan. How do they handle things? How do they do it? And do they communicate? I have decided that if I can't get a phone number and someone to talk to with a company, I'm going to not do business with them. Okay. If I can't have someone to talk to, now I'm not talking about Google and Amazon and that kind of stuff. I'm just not talking about that because they're just a giant national company. But I'm talking about local companies, contractors, especially retail customers, retail businesses, contractors, car dealers, repair shops, anything like that. I want someone I can talk to. I want to be able to call, and I want to be able to talk to someone. The worst thing in the world is not being communicated with. If I took every consumer problem we had at the heart of the problem, the thing that gets consumers the most, the thing that amplifies the problem is lack of communication. It's the number one thing that triggers people, lack of communication. And that's where you really have to be careful in selecting a company. Brooke, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot. When people go to Alliance Roof and Solar, when you have a project, when you have a job going on, how do you communicate? I really, you didn't know I was going to ask this. I really want to know. And again, I'm not trying to stroke you. I'm not trying to make something that isn't. Maybe you don't have a system in place. Maybe you do. But how do you handle consumer inquiries? Really, how do you do it? Like, do they simply call and say, I want to talk to someone, or do you have someone designated? How do you handle consumer inquiries?
Yeah, absolutely. So my business number is my cell phone business number is the company's number.
So you actually get called right off the bat.
Yep, I get called, I get text messages. If I'm not able to answer, let's say in 4 rings, then it automatically goes over to my assistant.
Okay.
So you should always be talking to somebody. And then we also have an ability to schedule a meeting with me online at any time that you want to. So if for some reason you have to leave a voicemail and we don't get back to you, that's another option. If you do have a project with us, I make sure that my assistant is emailing you every week with an update on your project. So no matter what's going on, since this is a construction project, sometimes they take 6 months or longer to complete. We want to make sure that you know every week where we're at with your project. And as far as when things go wrong, absolutely, it's a construction project. Things go right, they go wrong, and they go right in the middle.
Right.
So one of the things that we always say is that we'll be there with you to make sure your project gets finished to the fullest the way that it needs to.
Okay, so with commercial solar systems, okay, first of all, why did you make the shift from residential to commercial? What was the main impetus behind that?
Yeah, so I had dug into some grant programs that were eligible back in 2024.
Yeah.
And between the grants and also the additional commercial tax benefits, commercial just seemed to give folks more back, which seemed like
It was easier to get customers because you had more benefit, right?
Yeah, the customers definitely had more benefit. And to be honest, they're just kind of cooler projects. I mean, we're building
yeah.
huge solar fields. It's kind of a fun thing to
Yeah.
put their name on.
And I wanted to go into that. I want to ask you, is residential solar still being sold? Are there tax incentives? Did they all go away? What is the story on residential solar? I'm confused a little on the actual status of residential solar.
Yeah, so residential solar is a little bit different right now. So if you are to get a brand new system right now, you have no access to any tax benefits directly.
Not like it used to be.
No. Now, if you bought a solar system from me and we made a leased agreement, I could recoup tax benefits as a commercial entity, and then I could pass them on to you if I wanted to.
Okay.
Yes, but that's
so in other words, if a system is X amount of dollars and you are the provider of that system, as a business, you can get some tax benefits from that system, even though you're reselling it.
Yes, because then I would own the system. You'd be leasing it from me for a contracted term.
Okay. And during the term of that contract, you're the commercial provider, so you get tax benefits.
Yes.
And then you can pass them on to me how? By a discount or by monthly discount? How do you do it? Do you take it off the top?
Yeah, so some folks do that. We don't have a program set up that way because I have never believed in leases.
Okay.
Since we do roofing, most companies that did leases destroyed the roof. So I have never told anybody to lease the system because it's also difficult to sell that property. And there's a lot more things that happen when you don't own it outright.
Yeah.
So some folks are still selling lease systems though.
Okay. So if a commercial company leases me a system, the reason they're doing that is because they're getting tax benefits.
Yeah, they're getting between 64 and 94% of the system covered.
Come on.
Yeah.
So if a company puts in a residential system and leases it to me,
Yep.
they get 70 to 90% in tax benefits?
Yeah, that's a huge portion. Mm-hmm,
So they would be wise to pass that on to me. Part of it, are companies passing some of that benefit on to the homeowner or not?
Let's put it this way. If your electric bill is $100 a month, they're probably going to give you a lease system that's going to cost you $90 a month. So you're still saving $10.
Yeah.
But they're really out of pocket, maybe $10. So their profit margin is massive. They're not really in it to make sure the consumer is getting everything that they could.
So when a consumer gets a solar system for their house, can they eliminate their electric bill like they used to be able to? Or does the lease payment, do they structure that lease payment to be just under the electric bill? How do they do it?
It depends on who you're working with. Every company that does leases does them a little bit differently. If I were to do it, I think I would arrange it in a way that the savings would get passed on over a 20-year period. And then whatever the difference is So let's say that it's a system that has 70% tax benefits to it.
Okay.
I would set my contract up where I get 35%, you get 35%, and then we adjust that 35% savings over the 20-year term.
Okay.
Right? Does that then
Yeah, I know what you mean. So people get a discount because the contractor's getting a discount.
Oh, yeah,
and the contractor passes it on to the person. But right now, most of the residential systems now are leases then, because that's where the contractor gets the most incentive.
Yep. Yeah, it's not looking like the individual will get those tax benefits back anytime soon, which is really unfortunate. So
why would I get a system if I have a home? Why do I get a solar system? I don't even save that much money, do I?
It depends on who you would work with. But yeah, there's not a company that I would recommend right now as a residential basis to get a solar system from.
Because there's not a lot of savings.
No, you could do a group project with an HOA, and then you guys all would save money within the HOA space significantly. And that would be a good way to do it because neighborhoods can create HOAs for energy. But other than that, if I have a house, I would not get solar.
Wow.
No, I would wait until you have a company that's willing to show you all of the numbers saying what's my benefit and your benefit. And once you have that and it's a fair agreement, absolutely go for it. But that doesn't exist right now.
Okay. So you're saying right now, if people are looking for a solar system for their home, they should only go with a company that will be completely transparent on all of their tax benefits and share some of those tax benefits with the homeowner, with the customer. I can't see why anyone would do it without that. I mean, the whole reason to get a solar system, Brooke, is to save money. That's the whole reason. I'm not doing it for the environment. I want to do it to save money. Isn't that what most people do it for?
Yeah, absolutely. The downfall is that the utility companies know that program also went away. So like Excel, if you look at their new time of use pricing, it's insane. I think it's up to it's from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And the rates that they're charging you is at a 17% increase from last year.
Wow.
So you don't really have a good option for energy these days in Colorado, at least.
Okay, we're going to talk more about how you can qualify for a commercial system. Maybe you're a regular person. You want to know, is there a way to do it? Or what about a landlord? How do landlords do it? What if I had a strip mall or a little shopping center or whatever? We're going to talk about that. But also, we have Elizabeth who has that appliance. She sent some photos. I'm going to look at them. She sent some pics from her cell phone on the damage she's talking.
I gotta have a receipt. She's got to send her receipt.
I have it.
Okay, so we'll get the receipt and the pics and look at them right after this. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And speaking of homes, Genesis TotalExteriors.com. They have beautiful lifetime siding. They do roofing. They do doors and windows and basements and baths. Genesis TotalExteriors.com.
Okay.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver. Denver's talk station. An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human. Now, impact traffic.
Yeah, still looking pretty good out here. I-70 westbound at Chambers, left shoulder on what appears to be a little minor accident. It is slowing through the area. Looks like up north also.
Absolutely.
Had an accident
I just have to do the spot
that
now,
just drove off.
and then we'll do
good
it
news
for
there,
sure.
But it is just slightly slow.
Let me
coming
just
out
get
of
this out of
Northglenn
the
and
way.
Thornton.
It's
The
right
ramp
after
from
the
Southwest
traffic.
45 to eastbound 270 is jamming a little bit. 270 looks better for us. I-25 coming into downtown, as well as a little bit of traffic coming up out of the tech center, but no major difficulties. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This report is sponsored by the Our American Stories podcast.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll share the moving eulogy of NYPD officer Jason Rivera. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
You know, it's all about communication and access, and you will never get better communication or access than with attorney John Fuller. He's a personal injury attorney. Let me tell you about John. You can talk to him when you call. You just say, I want to talk to John. So you talk to the main attorney right off the bat, and then he gives you his cell phone number for follow-up phone calls and texts. That's access. In fact, if you call him and you like what you hear, he can get started on your case right after the very first phone call, not a lot of red tape. He will fight for you right from the beginning to get what you have coming and to put you in a whole position to recover your losses. 303-597-4500. Talk to John Fuller and stay in contact with him. That's access. That's communication. That's no red tape. 303-597-4500.
Alrighty. Things are running a little long today there, Tom.
Sorry, I'm gonna shorten that up, bro.
Well, you did go to break 12 minutes late, so I was
Okay.
worried about that too.
I know.
I can
Okay, so
hardly wait
do
to
we
get
have
to
these
your age.
pictures? Oh, there they are. Maytag dryer. Okay, I don't. So is she talking about?
Man, I still don't have that.
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to. She sent it to my phone, and it won't send in the email.
So she's talking about a mark
Yeah,
on the
text it-
dryer
text it to
itself.
me.
Okay.
She's talking about marks on the dryer itself.
Yeah, but I don't know if she bought scratch and dent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually scratch and sniff.
Okay, what were you saying you want to get into?
The legislators are taking the power away from people to get tax benefits and putting them back onto companies, which I don't think is.
So really, I mean, the federal government did away with all that 30% tax credit and everything for residential. So that just shot the hell out of sales. They're basically non-existent, right?
The power back into
Right.
system, Sunrun's like system, the big companies that are making billions a year, it just allows them to make more money.
Yeah, but they still have to sell them to consumers, though. I mean, consumers still have to. If the consumers don't see a benefit, why the hell would they buy them? It doesn't matter if you're getting a tax benefit for yourself if you can't unload the system.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I completely support you if you reply with a dick pic.
Nope. You know what? Nope. Nope.
$60 a month with recouping the
I think I'm
tax
just gonna go ahead and.
It's an option.
instead of just trusting
It's not a good one.
to give them the savings back appropriately.
Not a great one.
Does that make
Fun
sense?
one.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Calls back.
So
Yeah, that costs
the
me,
lease,
you sent an
that's also a third party, right? That,
Mhm.
When you lease it, you do it through another company. The contractor doesn't lease it to you.
No, Tesla owns their leases.
Oh, they do.
I did it. I would own them because that's the only way you get the tax benefit.
Okay. Okay. So you would have to own the lease for the entire term.
Turn the courts to AI. That is an awful idea.
What the contract is.
Do we what?
Someone put in the YouTube chat. I'm voting all judges to give them their leave and turn turn the courts to 100% AI.
How I
Yeah.
Can't think of a worse idea.
So you sign up for a solar system. The contractor signs you up on a lease. The contractor gets
This
benefits on that
it will
system
do something malicious
for the life of the system or whatever. And then those benefits,
5, 6 years.
presumably, if he passes them on
100%.
to the consumer saves money on the
And
system.
even if
But
it, because
I
you hear
think
the experts talk about it, and there's always been the old.
it's never going to be as good as it was. I mean,
Try to
unless
save
they
us by
reinstate.
killing us.
Do they think they'll ever reinstate tax credits for residential?
Point about it just suddenly we'll think.
No.
I don't think that shipping
There's
cars
no
is
way.
really a good use
So
of
I don't know if midterms might
our
adjust
energy.
things,
Yeah,
but with
we're
the
turning
Trump
that off.
administration, I would be
So Republicans are really down on tax credits for solar.
Shut down all the.
No, there's 4 Republicans that
Doesn't the
want
government
to
have like a
extend the commercial tax benefits,
1,000-year
they're set
cheese
to
supply for the
eliminate-
entire world?
If you don't have a 5% deposit in a signed contract by July
I'm just gonna
1st,
use
Yeah.
your project has to be done.
Alrighty,
by
hey Elizabeth, it's Adam.
2027,
Tom and Mark are
and if
looking
it's
at the
not,
photos
you
right now.
zero
When we come
tax
back from
benefits
break, they
on it.
should take your call. Okay, so just hang tight.
If you get into that state,
Wow.
you can up until 2030.
That's as
So
curt
the bill
as I've heard
is
you.
Set to
Curt.
extend
Curt.
those
Oh,
commercial
Curt.
tax credits and remove that 2027 and 2030
means
limit and extend it back to
brief
2024,
and
which is
sharp.
what it was originally.
Oh, thank you.
He's very curt with his
Four Republicans
response.
want that, but they
CURT?
need the
That's
midterms to shift to allow it to be, because even there's some division within that party. Does that make any sense?
So the entire solar system really lives or dies based on government incentives. I mean, just a regular
Which price is
retail business
guaranteed?
just doesn't work. Hi, I'm Tom Martino with Brooke White from Alliance Roof and Solar. With Major Marc Mager, we're trying to solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints. And on the appliance she bought, it looks like a little scratches and dents, or what she calls skid marks. They're abrasions on the paint. I see what she's talking about. And she said, they put it in there and she wasn't able to see it until they gave her access to it. That's not to say the function is wrong. The dryer and washer works. That's not what she's calling about. She's calling about the appearance. And Mark, you said there's a good chance you think she might have bought it that way because that's what
I just got the receipt. I'm looking.
Okay. The receipt, many times when you go to appliance factory outlet, you are literally buying out of the box or scratch and dent models. And so he's looking at the contract to see if that's what Elizabeth bought. Again, some people don't care about scratches and dents on appliances. Some people do. Elizabeth will get back to you as soon as Mark looks over that contract, and then we'll try to help you sort this out. Real quick, again, I got behind, so I'm going to have to take another break, but I'm asking Brooke about solar because she's with Alliance Roof and Solar. And here's the problem, okay? The problem is that the solar industry, bottom line, the solar industry lives or dies by government incentives. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so the residential solar business is going away because of it. There are no direct incentives to the consumer anymore.
That's correct.
The only incentives there are to the business who sells the system, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you sell a system, you get a benefit. And if you don't pass that benefit on to the consumer, why would you? I don't think consumers ever got solar for any other reason than to save money, even though they say, well, we want to, do good for the environment. The main reason people get solar is to save money. Now, we're going to talk to you about the good news. What is a commercial system and what do those commercial tax credits or tax incentives look like? Okay. With residential right now, it's tough. Okay. It's going to be tough. But let's talk about commercial systems if you have a business, and we'll do that right after this.
Yep.
Now, Impact Traffic.
Yeah, still looking pretty good out here. I-70 westbound at Chambers, left shoulder on what appears to be a little minor accident. It is slowing through the area. Looks like up north also. We had an accident southbound at 104th that just drove off. So good news there, but it is just slightly slow coming out of North Glen and Thornton. The ramp from southbound 25 to eastbound 270 is jamming a little bit. 270 looks better for us. I-25 coming into downtown, as well as a little bit of traffic coming up out of the tech center, but no major difficulties. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This report is sponsored by the Our American Stories podcast.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll share the moving eulogy of NYPD officer Jason Rivera. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
The way the laws are written right now, they're really skewed against landlords. That's why you need O'Brien Legal Services. If you're a landlord, even with only one place, you need an attorney, a real estate attorney who can help you, because the laws are so strange right now. You can get into trouble. You can get fined. You need someone to help you make up your leases and protect your rights. O'Brien Legal Services for all things real estate. That's olslaw.com. O'Brien Legal Services, olslaw.com, 720-370-7388.
Imagine if you could take a lump sum from your IRA and buy an annuity that would give you guaranteed income every month till the day you die. Money you can't outlive. It never changes. If you live to 120, you're still going to get that check every month. And then on top of that, the long-term care benefits are insane. And I didn't even mention the 15% bonus. That means that 100,000 to 115,000 instantly. Yeah, you give up the liquidity, but you gain guaranteed income and long-term benefits till the day you die. Call up my friends Joseph and Jordan Chiano over at mymoneymyway.com and ask the questions. Guaranteed returns. mymoneymyway.com.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Alpha Centauri. I was going to say it's as far as our closest star. So that thing that you look at, that is those 3 columns of gas that are all lit up and look cool, is the distance from here to the closest.
Hey, Axeman, ask her if she signed anything else besides this receipt when the delivery people came. Did she sign something on a tablet?
Axe and Elizabeth are not necessarily talking right now. There's a riff in the conversation, in the relationship.
She hung up and is now texting me with her problem, so I'm trying to get her back on.
Axe gave her his phone number to send the pictures to, and he said, please don't text that number. All she has been doing since she got the number is texting him, crying for help.
Lesson learned.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I told him to respond with a dick pic, not his
You know
own.
what? Let's give out his text. You know what? From now on, instead of help@troubleshooter.com, let's use Axe's number.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
My number is pristine. I get no spam calls or texts. It's amazing.
Not anymore, brother.
I'm going to write his number on the
What
dry
is it right now?
I'm going to write it on the dry erase board at several retirement communities. Do you think you're getting ripped off? Call Axe.
Oh my good Lord. Yeah, that's just what I need.
Tell your friends. I have a grandson that...
This guy says he has 3 100-watt panels that run the whole house.
Is he off-grid?
Huh?
Is he off-grid?
No, he says, my personal solar system cost me less than $2,500. It runs the whole house except for heat and air. I have 3 LiPo batteries.
Not the whole house, you...
What are 3 LiPo batteries? LiPo.
It just means that he's got like what it's running in the whole house is nothing. It'd be like running your lights, and that's it.
And he says 3 100-watt panels.
It probably does like his Wi-Fi. Like if you look on your breaker box, it probably
You guys
does less
don't
than
hear that,
60
right?
amps
Don't hear
altogether.
what?
Like
Yeah.
lights, internet,
Thank
whatever.
you.
It's probably only 3 things that it does. So it couldn't power your house.
No. And it says here, then he tops it off with his 2,000-watt Honda generator, which takes 3 hours.
That's not his whole...
I don't know. I'm just reading the
That's
text.
about right. That's about right. I know, but he said it runs my whole house. It's not your whole house.
No, heating and air are the main things.
You have a shack. Right.
Yeah, he's got mostly propane and other gas sources, which is fine to fuel it. It's just different way to do it.
Mark,
right?
did you need Axe? Mark, did you need Axe?
He's not listening.
Neither would I. If it weren't tangentially part of my stupid job, I wouldn't listen either.
But hey, if he wants more,
Well, I have a big-
we just pulled a bunch of panels off a project. Because if you redo a project that was done in the tax benefit range, you still get the tax benefits on it. So like if you revamp a project from 2020, you can still get the tax credits on it.
Wait, just revamp it and fix
guys,
it?
stand by,
Yeah,
stand
like you
by.
put in new panels because the panels are better. So I have a bunch if that guy wants more.
Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. DenverRegen.com for stem cell therapy. I can't say it enough. They do a great job on shoulders, elbows, backs, necks. DenverRegen.com. Okay. Mark, did you see the receipt for this appliance factory outlet sale?
Once again, we're lacking information, so I'll tell you what we have right now. The receipt is new appliances, not scratch and dent, but there's nothing here. This is not the delivery receipt. So this is when she actually purchased them in store. The next thing I need is whatever she signed when they delivered them. And you always sign something. I don't care if it's American Furniture, Sears, Appliance Factory. The drivers will have you sign something. I need to see that.
Are you guys all right? What's going on?
Just shut up. He did it.
Just stop sucking.
Okay, I'm turning
You
off
have,
your
you
sound.
have
So
one more hour with me to get it right.
Oh, that won't happen.
Well, he just muted himself.
I think
Shut up.
Shannon is the biggest
Dick.
de facto issue. That's French.
Hey, Elizabeth, do you have...
Well, it's a burden I do not carry lightly. Trust me. I can't just look at the clock. What? Oh, you done with it? Well, Michael's not using it. And I need it for my porn. Thank you. I can't forget. Not in love anymore.
Mark, you there? Right, you didn't get like an email copy or anything of it? Alright, I can see what Mark wants to do. Did everybody's phone go off? Not really, yeah, everyone's phone went off. I said that's kind of the key piece of information you need for this that Mark needs to look over. I can see what he wants me to do, and I'm just going to push back on the hold, okay?
If that was an Amber Alert, I can prove where I was. Thank you. Well, Tom's there. He's just not talking anymore. Thank God. That'll save us time. And So Mark isn't there either? Oh.
I'm here.
Well, no, just that Sue's posted a picture with Mark. Did you see this on Facebook? What is she doing? They are... Oh, it's her profile picture. It's her and Mark at a brewery or something. And the number of people that have said or implied, "Great picture, Suze, is that your father?" That is great.
And that they will warranty the system for at least 10 years after the detachment.
They're adorable.
There's so many, like last summer, so many phone calls of like,
That's
the roofer
hilarious.
said he could do it. They're not electricians, and not only did they mess up the new roof they just put on because they didn't.
Does insurance pay for detach and reset?
Yeah, they're required to. As long as the homeowner tells them that they have it on their policy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing with residential I would chat about, because a lot of people get like they get a brand new roof, but then when the roofers put back on the solar panels, they do it appropriately, so it ruins the roof. There's electrical shortages and wiring.
They can't work around. Oh, the panels are flat on the roof. Many of them. They're not on standoffs.
It depends, on how it was installed, but it's not something that a roofer necessarily knows how to do appropriately or waterproof that, right? It's just not their field of expertise. So
there are a lot of people who have solar systems. When it comes, that get hail damage, then the system itself might be damaged, right?
Yeah, usually the system's not, but it can be. Usually most of the damage happens when you have people who don't know how to take it off the roof, because then they're throwing wax on the ground or whatever, and things can chip or scratch or break. If you're material, this can happen. Not trying to throw anybody under the bus, just saying that's a big issue in the industry.
Well, even Elon Musk has said it. Solar is our future. There's almost no way around it. Now, it could be 100, 200 years out, but
do you think solar?
Solar?
We have enough solar energy to run everything?
I think we could. In Colorado for sure. Where I'm from in Iowa, no.
Worldwide.
The sun's not out that much.
Come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help come and make.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, along with Major Marc Mager, and we are here talking about everything consumer, things that we encounter every single day of our life. One of the things, Renew Home Innovations does beautiful walk-in showers with Italian porcelain. They're direct porcelain importers. Listen to this. They can do it in 2 or 3 days, and you're all done, and you have a year to pay with no interest. Great people. If you want a beautiful shower, renewhomeinnovations.com, 303-904-2000. Now, listen to this. Solar. Basically, the bottom line is this. If you have a solar system on your house, good. Okay, you got it, went under the old incentives. Right now, there's basically no incentives, no tax credits, no government programs for people who have a house and want solar. You just have to pay full retail. Now, you won't even find a company that does those because there aren't enough of them being sold. So what are companies doing now for residential solar systems? They're leasing them. They're leasing you a system. And here's the proposition. They say, hey, we're going to put a solar system on your home, and you will have a monthly payment for the solar lease that will be cheaper than your Excel energy. And that does work, right? Brooke White is from Alliance. By the way, she doesn't do those, but Brooke, with a residential lease, if you negotiate a good enough lease and your payment is like how much, 80 bucks a month, 100 bucks a month, that could very well save you money over time because electric bills keep going up and up and up, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Excel has a $1.9 billion infrastructure that they're doing over the next 5 years. So their bills are for sure going up, you know?
So really there's nothing wrong with leasing a solar system, but you have to make sure that if you lease a system, you're not going to end up with a lease payment and an electric bill.
Yeah, you need to make sure that that happens. And you also need to carefully consider the lease agreement. So realtors will
What
tell
are some
you
of the things in the lease agreement we want to look out for?
if you ever plan to sell the home, how they handle that. You can talk to any realtor and they will tell you 10 horror stories about a solar leased system. So if it's you're going to be your forever home, absolutely. But if you might sell in 5 years, I would really look into that clause.
Because you mean to tell me it would be difficult to get the new buyer to take over the lease?
The company you lease from has the right to veto the sale of the home if they don't like who's going to buy the home, or you are required to buy out the lease, which is usually, tens of thousands of dollars if you're selling after 5 years. So your options aren't ideal.
Okay, so that's really important. If you're putting on a lease and you're going to sell your home, you got to figure out how is that lease going to be treated? Are you going to be forced to pay off the lease, or are you going to get the seller to buy into the lease? Again, ideally, a lease payment on a residential system should be substantially lower than your current electric bill. And then as time goes on and electric bills go up and your lease payment stays the same, you will get even more and more savings. That is a good proposition if you could get a good lease. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Again, the reason they're doing leases now on residential systems, the reason they're going to leases is because that's the only way for the installer, the one selling you the system, to get a tax benefit to pass on to you. So again, be careful if you're going for residential solar, because residential solar is not what it used to be. It used to be you get a 30% tax credit. That's real money, and that comes back to you. Right now, most of them are being done in a lease. So you want to make sure the lease payment is substantially lower than your electric bill. Now, and saying that again, I know Alliance now, Alliance Roof and Solar. By the way, allianceroofandsolar.com. You're not doing the residential leases right now, but of the leases you know about, are they good or bad? The ones you know about right now?
No, they're bad.
They're bad.
I would not lease with anybody right now because
Okay.
while you may be saving 10 or 20 bucks a month, the company is making an insane profit margin, and you're not they're also going to be putting you in an interesting spot. I mean, anytime you work with a company whose ideas are profits over people, I think you come with a disconnect. You were just talking about customer service, right?
Yeah.
And so that customer service piece is big. That's why I get so many phone calls a week.
So you're saying when you lease a system, these companies are making a ton of money with the incentives, and they're not passing them on to people.
Not only that, but then since you're leasing the system, they're fully responsible for maintaining it. So they might have in their lease, if you tell us there's an issue, we have 12 months to come to your house to fix it. Right. So you really need to read into their service part of it too, because they own the system. They're responsible for making sure it works, but they could extend that timeline to a ridiculous amount where you're not really saving it.
So there are some bad solar leases out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would not lease a system right now.
Okay, you're hearing it from an expert. Glenn, you have a question. Go ahead, Glenn. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I may have tuned in a little bit too late, and she may have answered this, but any advice, suggestions, ideas for a person purchasing a home with an existing solar panel, inspection-wise, performance-wise, etc., before they go through with the process?
Okay, I want to ask a couple questions first, then I'll cut Brooke loose on this. How many panels are on the home?
Do not know that. We'll have
Okay.
to find that one out.
Okay. Is it a lease
We're
or
kind
do
of in the process right now of the
got it? Do they own the solar system? Do the sellers own the solar system on the house, or are they leasing it?
sellers will be paying off the solar system at closing.
Okay. Brooke, what about that? That if they pay off the solar system at closing, he won't have any monthly payment at all. It sounds like it'll be a pretty good deal for him, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to have to pay anything on that solar system and you'll own it, right, Glenn?
Right. But is it performing correctly?
Right. Do you guys do inspections?
I can ask him
what is he going to do? He wants to get the system checked out. I don't blame him. What good is a system if you're not getting anything out of it? So where does he go? Who provides that service?
Yeah, absolutely. So we provide that service. We've got folks that call us all the time for that. We've got relationships with realtors that ask us to check this out. So essentially what happens is the guys go on site. They give a call to whatever inverting company that system belongs to. So there's going to be a box that's big that's right next to wherever the main panel is.
Okay.
And that company is responsible for recording the solar system's production. You call into that place, you ask for the last 12 months of production report or the entire system's production report, and then you compare it with how many panels are there, and then you can see if the system's operating the way it should be, how long the warranty is on it, all of those details. It takes less than an hour to do. It's pretty quick.
And then as far as the installation, are the panels on correctly? Is it wired correctly? I mean, you can check all of that.
Yeah, we can. If you want us to pull every panel off to make sure that it's that's a little bit different.
No.
Just check it from the ground.
Yeah, but okay, not to pull the panels off, but check the main wiring and the main design of the system to see that it's correct.
Yeah, absolutely. And then based on whatever inverting company it is, we'll say, this is a great one. They hold up to their warranties. They're good to go. Or even though it says it's working now, expect the system to have issues in 2 or 3 years, right? Because inverting companies are not equal. SolarEdge, Enphase, amazing. Some of the other ones have some work to do.
So inverter companies, they're the main one for your system. Go ahead, sir. What?
Just what's an approximate cost? Not going to hold you to it, but just for that
to check out the system
you just described.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if you want the crew to come out for an hour to check out your system, it's $350 an hour for us to do that. So it's $350, and then we give you all the reports and the information, and then we also show you. Okay, is the house in Excel territory, or which utility is it with?
It'd be Excel, correct?
Yeah. So then we would also say, here's the form you need to fill out for Excel if you do decide to own it, so that you can roll over those or the solar benefits to your electric bill. I mean, we do a lot of things with the house sale.
They know how to do it. They're the ones to call.
Perfect.
I'll give you the number.
What's the number again for you guys?
It's 303-704-2449.
Forgive me if I don't answer right now.
Yeah, yeah, that's going right to her. So leave a message. She will get back to you, Glenn. It's 303-704-2449. That's a very valuable service. If you're buying a system, you really need to know what you're buying. I mean, even though they're paying it off at closing and including it in the sale, you still want to know that it's working properly. Okay. And that's that to me is ideal. If you can buy a home and the system is paid for, there's not a lot of downside there, right, Brooke? Do you think?
No, not at all, especially because solar also has some aesthetics that folks either like or they don't like.
Yeah.
So now you see exactly what it looks like on the house too before you purchase it.
Yeah, you get to see it and you get to use it and you get the benefit. I mean, you could really, really benefit from this if it's working properly, or maybe it needs a few tweaks, but you find out now. And if it's thrown in as part of the sale, I think that's a great idea. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-8255. Gravina's has the greatest selection of windows. That's gravinas.com.
Facing a job loss? considering a pension buyout, a severance package, or what to do with your 401k? Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, and I can help. 720-488-8604. That's 720-488-8604.
All right. I started Martino Capital with one thing in mind: to directly manage and help people with their investment portfolio. Listen, if you want a review free of charge, no BS, we will show you in real numbers what we do and how our strategies have actually performed in the last 3 years, the last 5 years. We will compare what you're doing with what we do. Sometimes you're sitting pretty. It's a great deal. We'll let you know. But if you need help, we would love to give it to you. There's no charge to consult with us and talk to us and for the advice we give you. 303-771-HELP. It's Martino Capital. And I love it. MartinoCapital.com. And that's 303-771-HELP. Euro Plumbing. You know what you get with Euro Plumbing? Savings. That's right. The lowest prices in plumbing anywhere, including water heaters. Listen to this. $14.99. I'm not kidding you. That's what you get. $14.99. They also do garbage disposal, sump pumps, anything plumbing, including repiping your entire house, including the drywall, lower than anyone in town with PEX Plumbing. That's EuroplumbingColorado.com, 720-500-3000.
No, all right. Doing good.
What are we doing with Elizabeth?
Well, there's not much we can. We don't have the other piece of the puzzle. We can put a deputy on it to call Appliance Factory Outlet to see what they're going to do about damaged appliance. Who do we have on today listening? Do we know?
The people listening, I don't know, but I saw Shop in the YouTube talking.
Throw Bo on that.
Yeah, we can have someone call over there just to see.
The tenacious weasel.
Actually, Bo is, where is he? Doing something with a cod somewhere in a bathroom. He said he's working on a ventilation system downtown, gay, and tomorrow I get a police museum. I get a police museum function.
You're drifting off there. What are you doing? Huh?
I'm trying to understand what a police museum is.
It's a thing.
A police museum?
Yeah, they have batons and handcuffs and stuff.
You just look at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, you want to try them on?
Yeah, what? Do you think Chop's a good one?
A good for what?
Yeah, see what Chopper's up to.
Calling the appliance company.
Yeah, he can do it.
Going to start an intifada. That was always what I remember about going to appliance warehouse, whatever the hell it is, discount. It seemed to be Palestinians and Jews working together, but still screaming at each other. It was kind of a funny thing when the ex-wife and I would go to buy something. Hey, have you checked on that price yet, you filthy bastard? They were just yelling across the showroom all the time. Yeah, Chopper, if you're listening.
I'm looking at things that make you unpopular.
What you got?
Adam's got a stalker.
At work, things that make you unpopular at work. And it seems like Shannon does every one of them.
I've never masturbated on a Zoom call. Other than that, I think I've hit every single checklist.
You wouldn't believe what.
Did you see that video of that social worker who was on a Zoom call and she went to the bathroom and she forgot to turn off her video?
And you
great.
can see her doing it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was like a
Yeah,
big
because she
thing.
got up and the bathroom door was right behind her in her home office, right? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
Oh,
That's
I'm not a
ridiculous.
huge fan of that, but yeah.
I think you'll like this story. When I used to work at Best Buy, there was a OnlyFans model who came in and was in the game aisle.
Oh, rubbing one out in the game aisle?
Uh-huh.
Oh. You should never, you shouldn't take your work home.
Wait.
You shouldn't take your work-
What was she was doing in the game aisle? She was doing it?
We'll be back.
Hi, Tom Martino. Your troubleshooter, 303-713-8255. Water Pros, the best water systems at the lowest prices. Do you get the theme of this show? We highlight great companies and great prices. You will never beat Water Pros prices for anything, whether you want the whole house water softening, you want to get rid of forever chemicals, nanoplastics, whatever. They can do reverse osmosis drinking water at the kitchen sink. For less than anyone can do, $1,200 or $1,100 fully installed for reverse osmosis. They have a tankless reverse osmosis too that comes out of the main faucet. Unbelievable systems. If you're thinking about water, 303-862-5554, waterpros.net. When you think about homes nowadays, I think in the future, this is what I think. Every home is going to have a water system and a solar system. Water, just to keep water safe, and it would cut down on what municipalities have to do, because it's almost impossible for municipalities to clean water. Truly, the water we get is not as clean as you think. I'm serious. It's not. I mean, the idea of safe water, yes, safe, but it can have ill health effects. As far as solar, I've always thought eventually it will be a thing. It really will be that, and it's whether it's climate advocates or greenies or just plain people who say, look, instead of building power plants, let's attack it at the source. If every home put in a solar system, just a really nice uniform solar system, there would be no need to build new power plants. I mean, you could have one hell of a system. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. But imagine if they require solar systems as part of every single home rebuild. Just like an HVAC system, water system, and then a solar system. Do you know what that would do? Because there's nothing wrong with solar. The only thing wrong with solar are the people that install and sell the solar. Really, Brooke, the science is there. We have great solar science, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
no, not at all. Boulder does require every new build to have solar in it, and Denver now just passed legislation to do that as well.
Now, did Denver pass it for homes or business?
For homes and business, it's both.
Really?
It's required for both for new permits.
I kind of like that. So what does it require? Is this Denver Energize you're talking about?
No, Denver Energize is to retrofit all commercial buildings. This is just if you're building a new building.
Okay, so if you're building a new building, do they say what size you need?
You have to offset a certain amount of what they think your usage is going to be.
Okay. No fooling. So right now, if you get a permit for a new build in Denver, it's got to include solar.
Yep.
Are you doing any of those new builds?
We are not. Nope. We're doing a lot more on the commercial side. So with Denver Energize and solar fields and stuff at a bigger level. We're not
Explain what Denver Energize is. What is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Mayor Hancock, when he was in power, put through Denver Energize, and it makes commercial buildings that are over 4,500 square feet retrofit their building.
So everyone with a building over 4,500 feet, they have to retrofit.
or they get penalized.
Well, yeah, okay. So they have to. I mean, being penalized will put them out of business. I mean, so if you have a commercial building, whether it's a warehouse, a factory, a store, what about a retail store? They all have to offset with solar.
Yeah, even the government buildings themselves have to.
No, so you mean to tell me we're going through a massive renovation right now of energy infrastructure?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. So if you own a building in Denver, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. If it's a certain size, you have to retrofit it.
Yep, you have to. There's 8 different parts of it, and solar's one of those 8 parts. But that has to be included, and then the total of the changes on those 8 parts have to exceed a certain amount. Otherwise, you face certain penalties.
Okay, so one would be a solar system. You have to have a solar system. What are some of the other requirements?
You have to look at the insulation of the building. You need to put your lights on timer so that if nobody's in the room, the lights shut off automatically. You need to look at the roof, make sure that if it's a flat roof, that it is reflecting sunlight, so that it's white, or considered a green roof so that it's eliminating some of that absorption into the building, which would then reduce your AC needs. So it just depends on what your building's doing too. So if you're involved in manufacturing, you have different rules and requirements than if you're a retail space.
Okay, so let's say I own a building. I'm in Denver. This is huge news. I mean, I don't think do a lot of people know about this Denver Energized?
Oh yeah, it's been going on since 2019.
Yeah, but are a lot of people taking action, or are they waiting until the last minute?
No, they're definitely waiting until the last minute. There's a lawsuit in place to get rid of the Denver Energize, and the penalties were supposed to start last year, and they've now been pushed to start this year instead because of the pushback the community's given on these.
Okay, so if I own a building, is it 4,500 square feet or bigger?
Yep, 4,501.
Okay, so I have a building over 4,500 square feet. I have to do retrofitting in 8 different areas of energy savings. And it can cost me how much, for God's sakes? I mean, we're talking about a lot of, what's the minimum? What would be the minimum if I had a 4,500 square foot building? What's the minimum we're talking about? Solar and all the other stuff. What's that all going to come to?
It depends on what you're looking for. So because they total up all 8 of those categories, you could exceed the levels in one of the categories and offset not doing anything in another.
Okay, but still, there's a minimum amount you're going to have to spend. I'm thinking thousands of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me break it down the way I'm talking. I apologize.
Okay.
If you upgrade your HVAC system, and let's say it's $100,000,
right,
there's limited tax benefits to that. But if you take that same $100,000 and put in a solar system, your out of pocket on that is $36,000 instead of the $100,000.
Okay,
so that's what I mean. Where you're asking for a cost, it depends on what you're going to put the money into.
So there will be some tax benefits for these companies doing it.
Absolutely. If you do the solar part, and then anything that's electric that you upgrade in the buildings, you can tie into the solar tax benefits as well.
Okay, so there will be some benefits, but no matter what, it will be a cost to people.
Yes.
Okay. That's, to me, incredible. What's the deadline?
So they're supposed to, the deadline's shifted because of the community. Yes. But as of right now, if you don't have a project in place that's been submitted, you're in trouble.
Are you getting called on some of these?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you're doing some of them?
Oh, yeah.
You go in and so they retrofit a building, and that's every building. Are we talking churches too?
I have not seen churches on the website. You can go onto Denver Energize's website and see all the buildings that have to comply with this. You'll see them on little dots on the map. And I haven't seen any churches, but I have seen like Denver rec centers and other government buildings that are required to adhere to this as well.
It's called Denver Energized, people. And if you own a building, or I'm going to say this, if you rent in a building over 4,500 feet, the landlords, don't tell me they're not going to raise rent. They're going to have to raise rent to offset some of these expenses.
Yeah, they might. I think something else to consider though is if you put that example into solar, if you put 100,000 of solar in and your out of pocket as a landlord is 36,000.
Yeah.
And you space that over the 30 years that the system's going to last, you can actually give a discount to your tenants and become the new
power company.
Exactly. So everybody can save money. You just have to do it in a way that makes sense.
So there are ways that can help the landlord, actually make money with this.
Yeah, absolutely. But you need to be talking to the right professionals to do it.
Okay, we're going to talk about an Amtrak update, by the way. Amtrak, yes, the train. Deputy Chopper's been working on that, and more on the solar systems. And I didn't realize this, but yeah, the government is getting involved, and they're saying we need more solar. And they're making it, they're mandating it. And you say Boulder also is doing it, right?
Boulder's been doing it for 20 plus years now.
Wow.
Denver just started. And then the state of Colorado is requiring all utility companies to be 100% renewable by 2050. So whether that renewable is wind or solar or geothermal,
A power company has to be 100% renewable by
2050.
By 2050.
And their penalties start in 2030.
All right, we have more right after this. This is incredible stuff. 303-713-8255. Be a landlord without the conventional hassle. Use Vestera. They help you buy a home. They help you manage it. They help you with every day. And then they help you sell it, all to make profit. Be a landlord. Let them help you every step of the way. Go to this website to find out more. mybigestreturn.com.
Yep.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station. Ryan Schuling, Tom Martino, Michael Brown Reloaded, and Dan Caplis. This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW. Now, impact traffic.
Yeah, it's still pretty quiet on the drive out here. There's a traffic stop northbound at Thornton Parkway. They're kind of off to the side of the highway, but it is actually slowing traffic quite a bit there. Looks like southbound 25, the ramp to eastbound 270 is backing up. That's construction related. Pena's been running a little heavy coming out of the airport. The east side of I-70 coming west from Chambers over towards Peoria, and I-25 through downtown. A little sluggish also. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk podcast.
I'm Buzz Knight, the host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Join me for an upcoming episode with Stuart Copeland. That's Stuart Copeland coming up on the Taking a Walk podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, wherever you get your steel buildings, it'll never be as good as GreatWesternBuildings.com. They are a factory in Grand Junction serving internationally and all 50 states. And they're right here in Colorado, direct to the consumer. So if you're looking for a steel building, anywhere from a barn, a garage, a workshop, a giant warehouse, even a church or a commercial building, they can do it all. GreatWesternBuildings.com.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. He's doing his radio show.
I need to talk to Tom. Well, we'll get you right on, maybe.
Cool. I'll tell you what. If I put you on a hold, he'd love to take your call. Sound good?
Hey,
That's a
I
good
ran
time.
into Tom at lunch once 35 years ago.
Jack. All right. And it was a comment about government mandated the solar topic we were talking about.
Yeah.
You got it. I'll put you on that hold. Listen through the phone for your name. We're on a small break, though, so hang tight. I call the Martino show. Oh, yeah. Is this Tom? Oh, he's on the radio. He just said, I'm listening to him.
All right. You never know. Things could be different once we come.
That's true. I don't know.
Yeah, so I was double checking the numbers. The sun sends 9,000 times more energy in a day than the planet uses.
Wow.
That makes sense.
9,000 more energy.
9,000 times the energy that the entire Earth uses. The entire Earth gets hit with every day. So, Brooke, if our panels were up to 60, 70%, and we could triple or quadruple our batteries, we'd be set, right?
It would be. I mean, there's a no-brainer. Solar. How do you get cleaner than solar, for God's sake? You point it to the sky. It's not like you can, and it doesn't weaken the sun. It's the one source you can draw from that doesn't weaken it.
Yeah,
the
that's
only
true.
way to get cleaner.
That doesn't matter
the
how many
only way to
how
get
many solar
cleaner-
panels are
the
pointed at
only
it.
way-
I think
the
that
only way to get
recycling
cleaner
solar
energy.
panels is like
The only
the
way
next
to get cleaner
big step
energy.
in that industry.
The only way to get cleaner energy is nuclear.
Recycling like old ones.
The only way to get cleaner energy
No,
is
so like if you
nuclear.
have panels from 20 years ago, instead of them going into like a landfill or something,
Did you mute me?
you
you
can
dick?
start sending them to recycling places. There's like one in the U.S., but I
definitely
think that's
did.
going to start.
And they rebuild them.
I think that's going to start picking up. Yeah, which is kind of
That's
cool.
that's why nuclear is cleaner. You understand what I'm saying, right?
I think nuclear like can't if you and I
Cleaner,
forget if it's
cleaner than solar because of the stuff. You're not building panel after panel after panel after panel after wire after wire after wire.
Yeah, I get it. I think is it fission or fusion that once you get it started, the reaction never stops. Like you don't have to put anything else in.
Fission.
Baby, once I get started, the reaction never stops.
Okay.
All right, shut up. God, I don't know. I forget. I think it's fission is the one that everybody's after, right? Fission.
Fission.
Fission is the one the sun does.
It's the do
And
you know that
fusion is the one we do.
yeah. There's
Because here's why I know. Homer Simpson's bumper sticker said, "I'd rather be fission." Not I'd rather be fission. And he'd know. He worked at a nuclear power plant.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it'd be great, especially if the cars, if a Tesla had a over 1,000-mile range, people wouldn't worry about crap buying one of those, buying an electric car of any kind.
Yeah. But yeah, decentralizing
is
the
legal.
grid is a big thing against like terrorist attacks here in town, right? Like you were saying, if everybody puts solar on, then you're decentralizing the grid to help with that. So that's
Yeah.
historically
Very
why
good.
Republicans have liked solar, whereas Democrats for the environmental purposes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some common ground for sure.
We all like a good time.
Democrats suck.
We know that.
Yeah, but I'll still spend their money, Mark.
Well, they'll spend yours.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the LA mayor debates?
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Jack, you have a comment on solar. Go ahead, Jack. What's going on?
Yeah, I was listening to you as I'm driving, talking about the government dictating to you that you have to have solar, and you have to do this, you have to have that. Okay, the big umbrella argument that you can't get past, and you never will get past. The government cannot dictate to you what you have to buy or what you can't buy. The government, and that's under the constitutional amendment that says the government cannot interfere with private contracts between two parties unless it's illegal.
Well, wait
So
a
you're not
second,
telling me I
Jack.
have
Whoa,
to
whoa,
put-
wait.
You're not telling me I have to put.
Jack,
you're not
wait a
telling me I
second.
have to put solar on a building I'm building. You're not doing it.
Well, they are doing it.
Yeah, but it's not okay. They don't have standing for an argument like that. The Constitution does not allow the government to interfere with contracts between two parties unless it's illegal.
Okay,
So
but what
the first
about,
thing they have to do is go to Congress and
Jack,
get a
what
law
about
that
building
says if you
codes?
build anything,
What about building codes? They impose building codes that interferes between the contractor and the customer. What about, saying you have to do?
perfectly okay. Okay, the way that's dealt with is you have a building code in an area that's local. Well, then you want to build a building to your design, not the code design. You go to a different. It's called exercising your ballot by foot. You go to a county that doesn't have that code, and that's or like maybe Wyoming, and then you build it there. That's okay. That's okay. But to have a government say everybody has to have so much solar on every building they build nationwide, that's not constitutionally allowable.
So you're saying if it's challenged, it's going to go down with the Supreme Court.
That's right.
I mean,
well, it already did. It went down about 10 years ago when they said everybody had to buy this certain health care thing, and they said the government cannot tell you what you have to buy. It's already been ruled on. The precedent's there.
You know, I never looked at it as a constitutional issue, but that will be interesting.
Everything is, Tom.
Well, that's
Tom,
why Obamacare finally got overturned. They couldn't force you to buy health insurance.
That's exactly what this call is about. You got it. Thank you.
All right, Jack, thanks.
You're welcome.
So here's the deal. You have
Here's what always drove me crazy. Here's what drove me crazy about solar. I mean, forget about all the leftists and the crap like, you know, you have to have it for it's better for the environment. That's so arguable, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I don't know how it's better. These panels are next to impossible to get rid of. It's like batteries for cars. I mean, they're basically just poison. Now, throw all that out, but to make somebody buy something is absolutely crazy, like that guy said. And then for the government to step into an industry, why don't they step into oil and say, hey, we're going to subsidize Exxon? What's wrong with that? Might as well subsidize Chevron. Then gas prices will go down. What's wrong with doing that? Or subsidize Walmart so Walmart becomes bigger. You get the idea. How do you take one industry or one company and give them my money if I don't want anything to do with them?
I'm not arguing with you. I don't know about, what do you think, Mark, about his argument saying you can't tell someone they have to put solar on a building?
Well, he's right. When it comes to the Supreme Court, Obamacare is the best example. The problem is it took 10 years to basically overturn. It should have never been put in there. You can't say you have to buy something. I mean, how crazy is that? You have to buy health care. Well, maybe if I'm 18, I don't want to buy health care. Maybe I don't even think I'm going to die ever. So what the hell am I spending my $20 an hour on health care? It's absolutely insane. You shouldn't be able to make people buy things. The only problem with Jack and what he said is, the problem with our government is it can take 8 to 10 years like it did with Obamacare in order for the Supreme Court to finally turn it around.
Brooks said some businesses are already suing, but they're not, obviously it would have to go up the line, but they're suing against this, aren't they, right now, Brooke?
Yeah, there's a lawsuit for the Denver Energize program.
Against it, saying you can't tell us what to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not, listen, I'm not anti-solar. Don't get me wrong. If I had a cabin somewhere, or honestly, there's a lot of reasons I would use solar. I use solar right at my house for my Arlo cameras, and it's incredible. There's a little tiny panel, no bigger than your average size book, that keeps that thing at 100% all the time. Solar is absolutely magnificent. I just don't think people that live in a condo and can't even access solar if they wanted to should have to use their tax money to have people get breaks on buying solar. I'm glad what Trump did with it.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. I don't like being forced to do anything. Now, James, this is a new call, right? James has a question. Is this new, Axe?
Yeah.
Okay, James.
Yeah,
go ahead, James.
Yes. Okay. We bought a new home from Lennar about 5 years ago, and a solar system was included with the home. In the meantime, Lennar has sold off that solar system to like 3 different other companies. And in the meantime, my name has been dropped from the contract, and someone else's name is on the contract. But and I stopped payment on the, the monthly payment on it. I said, I'm not paying any more until I get my name on there, because I'm not paying for somebody else's, name.
Wait, is this a solar system on your house?
It is, yes.
And how did it get someone else's name on it?
Well, that's a good question, because we, the paperwork's been shuffled so many times. Lennar, like I said, owned the solar system to begin with, then they sold it to another company, and then that company sold it to another company. So in the meantime, somewhere along the line, my name got trashed and put somewhere else.
So that's weird. Anyway, right now, though, it's on your home producing electricity right now.
Apparently, yes.
And are you paying an Excel bill or are you paying any kind of utility bill?
No, I'm paying an Excel bill, just strictly Excel.
I understand, but is the solar system offsetting that bill? Is your bill cheaper than it normally would be?
No, not really. I think it's about the same. I think actually it's gone up, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't understand. Did you inherited this system when you bought the house?
I did, yes.
Did you buy it from Lennar or did you buy it from an individual?
No, when I bought the house, I bought it from Lennar, and Lennar owned a solar company that included a solar system with the house.
Okay, got it.
So it all started off with Lennar.
But why, Brooke, why wouldn't that solar system be reducing his electric bill?
Based on what's going on, there could be a couple of things happening, but it sounds like it might be a leased system. So his name should still be on the lease, but if somebody else owns it and he's not making payments, then they can call the utility directly to have them credit them instead of his bill.
Okay.
I'd have to look into this specific situation further to give you an analysis, but that's one option.
How long have you been in the home, James?
Oh, 5-6 years.
How long have you been paying or not? How long have you not been paying the solar lease?
About 2 years.
And they haven't said anything to you?
My question. Well, they call every now and then, and they want a payment on the bill, but I tell them, my name is not on the contract. There's someone else's name on the contract.
Whose name is on the contract? Is it a random person? Is it a neighbor? Whose name is on it?
It's a random person.
What?
And I have no idea who that is.
I just have no. This sounds crazy.
So I guess my question would be: do you have any insight or anything that you could tell me in reference on what to do to try to get to the bottom of this?
Yeah, absolutely. I would contact the inverting company. So that box on the side of your house, that's going to be before your main panel. I would call them and get all the details because they're going to know exactly who owns it right now, how long the warranty is good for, and all of those other things. And then you can negotiate with the inverting company to work on your behalf to get this straightened out. Mm-hmm.
It's the inverting company that does that keeps track of all these?
Yeah, because they need to know who can work on the system to maintain the warranties. So Enphase only allows Enphase certified installers to work on their systems to maintain their warranties. So they keep track of who owns what for that sake.
You would think also, James, I got to take this break, but I have an idea coming right back. Hang on.
Okay. Now, Impact Traffic.
Yeah, it's still
you would
pretty
think
quiet
Lennar
on the
Homes
side
would
out here. There's a
know
traffic
who owns
stop
it
northbound at Thornton
and would be able to.
Parkway.
If they've
kind of
sold
off
the
to
lease
the
a
side
few
of the highway,
different
but it
times,
is
then no.
actually slowing traffic quite a bit.
But he's
there.
the only one that
Looks like
he bought the house
the ramp
new.
to eastbound 270 is backing up. That's
So the way
construction
that
related.
it works with
Heavy's
new
been running a
builds
little heavy coming
sometimes
out
is
of
that the
airport,
GC
east side of
doesn't
I-70
do all the
coming west
paperwork
from
the right
Chambers
way,
over
and then
towards
other people
Peoria,
own stuff, and then it
I-25
can be a
through
mess.
downtown.
I mean, there's
Little
a
sluggish
couple
also.
that
With
we've been
traffic, I'm
working
Jonathan
with
Steele.
that they've
This
paid
report
for a
is
solar
sponsored by
system,
Red
but
Pilled
they never did the
America.
This week on
interconnection
Red Pilled
correctly with
America.
Excel,
I definitely
and
believe the
there's-
moon
but it's
landing
been
was
3
faked.
years, and they
Conspiracy
can't get it
theories are
figured out.
everywhere. Why are they spreading? To find the answer,
But-
we tell the story of
Sorry.
the man that
No, it'll
made
be
and
coming up in a
lost
minute.
a fortune on them, Alex Jones. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
You know, today we're talking about energy, and one of the things that saps energy from your home, dirt and grime in the HVAC system, especially the air conditioning going into the cooling season. Right now, Fix It 24/7 will do an extreme clean, tune, and check of your AC system for just $39. That's unbelievable what they do for that price. Why? Because they want to make you a customer. There is no obligation, and it is only $39 for this introductory offer. So give them a call, 720-526-3939.
MyMoneyMyWay.com. I want to tell you something. If you're looking for guaranteed income till the day you die, you're close to retirement, you're in retirement, you need to reach out to my friends at MyMoneyMyWay.com. We're talking not only guaranteed checks every single month that you can't outlive, but long-term care benefits. You're going to love these annuity products. You give up a little liquidity from that IRA, but you gain 100% guaranteed income till the day you die. Reach out to Joe and Jordan Keano. Ask all the questions. They'll help you through it. MyMoneyMyWay.com.
Two new guys there.
Thank you.
And
Go
one's
back to
trying
your
be
call.
crazier than the other. No, I mean, yeah, because they are crazy. Let me grab a thing here. Do you want anything?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
No more coffee?
No.
I want you to watch the clock while I'm gone. I know I should shut up, but God damn it.
Is there a toothpick in this place, you think?
Well, until my teeth were able to be left on a nightstand, I always carried those little banjo plastic guys with the love them. And no, I don't have one handy. Can you believe it?
I can, actually. No one has toothpicks.
Oh, dude, I used to have... Oh, yeah, no, I have 3 studio quality microphones with arms that I bought and a big ass automated mixer. Yeah, no, but I don't have toothpicks. That's so weird, yeah.
Yeah, no.
If I were to... I think I left some here in the top of this bag to fish out if I ever needed them.
Shannon, believe it or not, I didn't see that spot till about 10 seconds.
Well, that's okay. I trust you. Hey, I see Sue's changed the Facebook profile, and who's that commented that, oh, nice picture of you and your dad. To Sue's and you. You know what I'm talking about, Mark. Mark! God damn it, you people.
That's funny.
So I might be wrong on this, but isn't the oil business subsidized also? Like, don't they get like over 700 billion annually?
I don't know. Let me see.
I don't see us ever bombing the shit out of some country for solar.
Who would we bomb? Like Taiwan?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it'd be fun. Yeah, somebody. God, the French. Screw those guys.
Well, the French are super nuclear. They're all nuclear in France. And then Iceland uses geothermal because the whole country is volcanoes.
Squirting out of the ground. They got it there.
They do, yeah.
Receives government support.
Unfortunately, they're still in the air.
The biggest supports. Not direct payments. Tax breaks. Accounting rules.
You know what I bought, Shannon?
Royalty.
It's like, what's that?
You know what I bought?
What?
Nike tracksuit.
Oh, for God's
What,
sake.
Mark, you're in a Nike tracksuit?
Martin, are you going to go Martin Lawrence in the street somewhere? You going to be okay?
I'm just going to wear it everywhere.
God,
I'm going to drape myself in velvet.
And big sunglasses and a gold chain. Well, you could borrow Adams.
Just like Marco Rubio.
Nice. Or Governor Hot Wheels.
Or should I say President Rubio or Vice President Rubio?
No, I think he's gonna lap JD.
I saw Trump the other day. He asked a pretty big crowd. He wanted you to vote. And basically, Vance won the vote in front of the business leaders.
All right, here we go.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We're talking, general consumer stuff as always, and we'll take your calls. And We do have a question on solar here from James. We'll continue with, and then go on to an Amtrak update. And any consumer problems, question, or complaints you have, you can call 303-713-TALK or 303-MARTINO. Hey, James, go ahead, sir. What's happening?
Okay, well, one of us, I guess apparently, my solar system has been sold several times. It came with my house, obviously with Lennar. The one question I have is, Brooke had said something about inverter.
Yes.
Okay. How do I, and she told me where to find that at, and I didn't write it down.
Okay, it's right next to the power grid. Hold on, and we'll let you know.
Shouldn't depend on the season. With
Hold on. Tell him if he doesn't want to hold on. Tell him it's right next.
Whatever it is, no. No, you guys tell him later. We're busy.
Let him know that we're going to come right back to him.
God, yeah, sure.
Okay, right back.
Yeah, it's like you're clinging to a raft with these people, Tom. Let him go. Let Jack go. Okay? You've already got the ruby or whatever it is. Let Jack go.
Oh, the Hope Diamond?
Yes, or whatever the hell it is. I mean, just tell him to hang on. Isn't that what women were doing in the theaters? Hang on, Jack. Don't hang on, Jack. Fuck off, Jack.
I wasn't ready for a Titanic reference. I'm not going to lie.
See, and even Adam, who's like a zygote compared to me in age, yells out here, the door's big enough. Yeah, the door was big enough. But I digress.
No, that's okay. They did a lot of interviews where Leo's like, the door was stupid. I don't know why they didn't listen to me and shrink it. So.
Oh, that he was trying to fix it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
But who directed that? James Cameron?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he didn't want to listen.
Yeah, since he's only made like the 4 out of the top 10 highest grossing movies ever.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the Avatar crap really cleaned up, and something else did too. But
do you like the Avatar crap? Are you into it?
You like Avatar?
No, not at all. Especially not in that first one when the Marines started shooting at other Marines. I was like, well, you've lost me there. That's not real. I mean, I understand that we're on a different planet with these big green things, but no, you lost me. It is America. We are everywhere. Oh, you're the best. I think people at Micro Center were ignoring me yesterday because I had a MAGA hat on. That's fine. Well, they'd love you. Look at you. Sure. Well, I mean, there's only 2 reasons for something. What? Well, stuff is either malicious or ignorant. It's never, so it's either one or the other. And I'm saying I got the malicious one. You got the malicious one. I'm walking around looking for something. For a change, I actually want help out of those people.
Yeah.
Because normally I go in there and go, no, I know it.
I know more than you.
Mm-hmm. But this time I needed their help, and they would look at me, and they'd come down the aisle, and they'd go the other way. And I'm like, oh. Now, it wasn't a MAGA hat. It was my NASA. But look, you see that from a distance, Greg, and you're going to run over a ice agent with your car. You see that, right?
Yeah, that looks good.
Screw everybody. That wants to be screwed. I mean, I don't.
No. Yeah. What the hell?
Sorry, it just now started to get cold again in here. It was hot. series of numbers appear on the screen up there.
And the temperature changes. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like it's what we would call a schedule, or whatever Jackson is.
Yeah, who knows?
Now what?
I didn't mean to put it in that. What do I need?
Oh, it says IBM. Hello? Hello? No one was hurt during it. Well, that was an interesting morning, at least, huh?
Yeah.
I'll be a couple minutes. I'll let you know when I'm back.
All right.
Good riddance.
Get out. Dude, seriously, 12 minutes late for a break.
I started yelling at around
I don't
10.
yell. You know that. You and I each have different needs, apparently.
It's funny because I was like, hey, break when you can. And then he cuts the person off immediately. They're going to take this break. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to make it make sense.
No. No, that's...
Hmm.
And I think some of it is because of what a dick I am to him. I whistle at 52. You know what I mean? That's it. How can I take this? Yeah, no shit. But if your perception of time is that far off, and his 30s have been 60s, and his 60s.
This says the law applies to buildings 25,000 square feet or larger.
Yeah, that's a different version. So there's the green building ordinance and the Denver Energize. So if your building is 25,000 or greater, then you have to comply with both ordinances. So the green building ordinance has a lot more to do with the roof. So you have to have a green roof next time you.
What is that called?
A green roof. So
No. I mean, what is that bill called? That's a.
The
house. Don't miss
the
that
green
on the Dane Kaplan
the
Show.
green building ordinance.
Okay.
I think that went into effect in 2017. It's older than Denver Energize by a couple years.
Bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help a common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, Tom Martino here. Welcome to this show. Marc Mager at his remote studio, and we are solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. We have Brooke White with us from Alliance Roof and Solar. They do solar, and there's still a lot of activity in the solar business, most of it in commercial, trying to eliminate electric bills as much as possible. And there are a lot of incentives federally for commercial systems we can get into. We're also told that there are ordinances in Denver that will make building owners have to put on solar systems and other green initiatives or energy saving initiatives over the next few years, or they're going to be fined heavily. Part of that is being fought in courts One gentleman called and said, you can't tell me I have to buy a solar system for my building, or you can't tell me what I have to do to my own private property. And he said it wouldn't pass the Supreme Court muster because it is unconstitutional. Again, there are some people fighting it, but the bottom line is if you own a building, a commercial building in Denver, this Denver Energize, along with the green building ordinances, will have a big, big impact on you, a big impact. Now, we talked about how to minimize that impact through incentives and reselling power back to the end user. And we can talk about that coming up. But we left off with James that I wanted to talk to. James bought a Lennar home and it came with a solar system. I guess we're all puzzled as to how you bought a Lennar home with a solar system that is in someone else's name. Was it ever in your name, James?
Yes. Okay. I bought the house from Lennar, and all the documentation for the solar system was in my name. Okay. In the meantime, Lennar sold that contract and their solar system to another company, and then that company sold it to another company. So somewhere along in between, my name got off and somebody else's name got on.
Brooke, does this make sense to you at all as to what he's saying? What does it mean? What does he mean that Lennar sold the contract? It was a lease to him and they sold the lease, right?
Yeah, exactly. So somebody else has taken over the lease. Well, it's the same as why people buy and banks buy and sell mortgages. It's kind of the same principle.
So your lease was basically sold a couple times, but even though your lease is sold a couple times, why would your name be taken off it?
That I don't know, and nobody can tell me that.
Huh.
I'm just guessing. It was a mix-up with the paperwork. Somebody screwed up along the line, and they just didn't do their job.
Are they paying? Are they bugging you to pay? Are they bugging you to pay this thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I have told several people that call, I am not going to pay anything until I get my name back on the contract again.
And what do they say about that?
Well, they say they'll try to work it out, but nobody ever gets back to me.
Okay.
But yet they keep calling for money. Okay.
And so you're not paying that bill, but you are paying an Excel bill?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I pay that every month.
Does that Excel bill look low to you because you're being subsidized by solar?
Not really. I mean, it looks like it's just in line with what it's always been.
In line with what you've always had a solar system. In other words, I'm trying to figure out if that solar system is actually producing. So here's what Brooke said. She says that the inverter company, and on all systems, the inverter company is the one that keeps the records, right?
Yeah.
On every system, they have an inverter on. Yes. Every system. So you contact the inverter company. And then what do you give them a serial number or something?
They can ask for a serial number. They can also find it by your address. It just depends. Mm-hmm.
So these companies, inverter companies, why do they keep track? Why are they tasked with keeping track of all the solar systems?
Because the inverting company takes the solar power and converts it so that your house can use it. And that production value has to be monitored for them to connect to the utility. It's a requirement.
And the inverter company, in order to sell inverters, has to do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't do it out of the goodness of their heart.
Right. So the inverter is the main heart of the system.
It's definitely a big component. I would say it's probably half.
Okay. Now, the inverter is located where? If he wants to get the name of the inverter company, it's next to his power, his main power box.
Yeah, it's going to be right between the solar panels and wherever his main panel is, or wherever they decided to connect into. So it could be a sub panel. It's just kind of in that electrical line. So if he follows the solar panel and follows the wiring or the piping, he'll find the inverter next.
And the inverter is the one that takes the solar and then inverts it to work with your home electricity. Now, you have to get the name of that company, call them up, give them your address, and say, I need the stats on this. I need to know who owns it and the lowdown on this. They even keep track of who owns the lease at the time?
They will, and then they'll accept. So if James takes a picture of his house and then the serial number with the inverter in it, so they can verify it's his house, they'll put his name back on the system details as well.
How does his name get dropped off?
Oh, it's like he said, an admin error. Somebody didn't do their job appropriately, and it's probably a
But
clerical
you've seen this happen before?
Oh, yeah. I've seen everything in solar.
So, James, what's crazy is they want money, but you would think they would fix it if they want the money. How much would that payment be about?
You know, I have no idea, to be honest with you. I really don't. But I have told them every time they've called, hey, whatever the bill is, whatever the back bill is, I'll send you a check for it as long as I have proof that my name is on the contract. And initially, you know, my wife used to take care of all the bills. They wouldn't even talk to her, you know, in order to pay the bill. They said that they could only talk to me because my name was on the contract.
I would, if it's okay, Tom, I would add one.
You could do it online.
Go ahead.
I would add one caveat to that. Before you pay them, James, I would make sure that that system's producing. So I would look on the second page of your Excel bill, and I would make sure that if it's not producing, that they get it up and running before you give them any money.
Okay. Well, that sounds excellent.
You know what bothers me about this, though? The thing that bothers me is he says he's paying a regular electric bill, and then he's going to add to it an inverter bill or a solar bill, the leasing payment. So, you know, what good is the solar system doing him? He's paying a regular solar bill. I mean, a regular electric bill plus solar. I mean,
yeah, exactly. It's not doing him any good if the solar's not producing. So before he gives them any money, say, okay, well, you guys need to make it running.
Are leases contingent upon the system generating power?
It depends on how the lease was written.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, most likely, most leases are written to benefit you. Otherwise, why would you get a solar system, right? I mean, doesn't that sound logical to you, that it would be, you know, that you would get the right, you'd get the right benefit before you even sign up for it?
I think my contracts are the only contract in the solar industry that I've seen that have a production guarantee in them for the consumer.
There are actually solar leases that this guy could have signed that just literally do not guarantee anything.
It could have, yeah, absolutely. Because the builders are still getting their tax credits by adding it to the builds. They're still doing, you know, their end, looking out for you. And if the contract doesn't say that they have to uphold what they're selling, some companies don't do that. You know that more than anybody.
Wow. Yeah. Well, what's amazing to me, though, is how do they sell a solar system that offers no benefit to people? And why do people sign for them? What was the come on, when you bought your home, were you told you had to take the solar system, James?
Well, that's the only way they sell the houses. I mean, the whole complex has solar all over. So the only way they would sell you the house is if the solar system came with the house.
On his electric bill with the Excel, would it show any offsets he had?
Yeah, on the second page.
Do you ever look at your electric bill? Does it show any offset for that solar system?
You know, I don't, and but I will when I get home today. I'll tell you that.
Let us know, will you? And then, meanwhile, check with the inverter. Okay. And let us know if you need more help. Give us a call back. 303-713-TALK, 713. Thank you. 8255. Apple Air for heating and air. Apple, that's with an A. Apple Air, an E at the end. I've known Todd Terry and his family from the time they started this company. Let me tell you something about them. They are a wonderful company for value, for price, for standing behind their warranties, for everything you need for your HVAC system, air conditioning, heating, commercial HVAC, indoor air quality. They're Dakin partners, by the way, with the best warranties in the business, 12 years parts and labor. By the way, 6-year full replacement if things go wrong in the first 6 years. They do also mini splits. They do emergency repairs, heat pumps. They'll do a performance test on your entire house. Todd is dedicated with his 2 sons and his wife and family. They're dedicated to providing the best services at the best prices. You don't say it any better than that. Still family owned and operated since 88. Apple Air, that's with an E, appleair.com, 303-733-2813.
Right now, we could all use some extra cash, so why not visit David Ellis Jewelry to cash in your old, useless, tangled jewelry, coins, and anything else containing precious metals. He'll even buy your fine jewelry and diamonds. Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino, and I recommend David Ellis Jewelry because I've known David for years. I trust him. You can too. 2640 East 3rd Avenue. That's 3rd and Clayton. 303-322-8779.
This is a nice website, Alliance.
322-8779.
Thank you.
Excel Roofing. I love great companies. Listen, the whole theme of this show is to find the great companies and avoid the bad ones. Excel has been around since day one of my referral list at referrallist.com. They'll do roofing. By the way, they do siding and windows as well, and painting and architectural lighting. That's the fixed lighting that you put on your home. You can light up any day you want. excelroofing.com, where you don't pay a cent until you're content. By the way, get a price for your roof in 2 minutes or less on the front page of that website, excelroofing.com. So
We can talk under the cone of silence. The cone of silence.
Favor card. What's in your wallet? Term supply. Visit CapitalOne.com for details.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, and I welcome you to the show. Thank you for being here. Listen, Deputy Chopper has an update on Amtrak. This is a crazy thing. Amtrak, they sell this tour, all inclusive with meals and everything. And they contacted us because they were on this train and everything was supposed to be included. And they paid like $4,000. It was a sleeper car and it was supposed to be first class. But the dining car was removed from the train for mechanical or technical reasons, and so they had to go without the included meals. Amtrak at first said, here's a courtesy discount. Now listen to this. They lost out on all their meals and or most of their meals, and Amtrak offered a courtesy discount of $45. Is that right, Chopper?
Yes, Tom, $45 is what they first offered to him.
Yeah. So anyway, do you have anything since? Anything happen?
Well, yeah, after the show yesterday, I got word from the daughter of the older lady whose this trip was her bucket list, and it's actually good. I had contacted their media relations and told them that no one got back to these people in the 10-day time period that they were supposed to, and what could be done? Well, they changed it from $45 to $1,000.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Are they happy?
Yes, they're much happier than 45. I actually thought 400 was going to be, happiness, but if there's a bad side is they're going to give them $700 cash back to their credit cards, and they're giving them $300 travel voucher.
Oh.
I'm still going to reach out again to the media and say, hey, this lady's 89. I don't think she's going to be using, Amtrak again. Can we get a little bit more? But I think $1,000 was a decent offer by Amtrak, and they did accept it. So I don't know if they'll change it on that last 300.
Yeah, but at least we got them up from $45, for goodness sakes. That's crazy. I am so happy you took this on. Thank you very much. And we got to get the dinger out for this one. I appreciate that, Chopper, for the follow-up, man. Seriously, people, this is, again, another instance of people being ignored. I mean, come on. You buy a $4,000 train excursion, $4,000 including meals, and when the dining car went out, they offer them $45. Gosh. And that was only because we got involved, and then Chopper hounded him some more, got him up to to $1,000, which is better than nothing, right? Thank you, Chopper. We got more coming up. Let's talk to Corey. Corey, what's happening with you? Welcome to the show, Corey.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
I'm being ignored, too, by state of Colorado unemployment.
Unemployment? What happened?
I've been working in Denver. I've been working in Denver for 30 years, and I got fired from a job. I didn't know what I was doing, but they didn't train me correctly.
Now,
so when I went to file unemployment.
Okay, so you're calling it like a hostile work environment? You quit because you had to, because it was terrible, or why? Why did you lose? Did you quit, or did they fire you? Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They fired me for performance issues.
And you're saying what? That it wasn't your fault, or what?
No, it was my fault, but it was my fault because they didn't train me correctly.
Okay, got it.
Fine. I'm on to the next thing, but my thing is I'm having a problem with my unemployment.
Okay, were you eligible for unemployment? Did they say you were?
They didn't say anything. They didn't say either way.
Okay, so let's get this straight then. I'm curious. That's what I'm trying to find out. Because when you're fired for cause, many times you don't get unemployment. So when were you fired? How long ago were you fired, Corey? What was the? Give me a rough date you were fired.
Like around March 31st.
Of this year, just recently, just a few days ago. And what kind of job was it? Or guys, did we have a bad hookup here or what on the phone thing? Help me out. Is it?
I think he's just got a terrible phone.
He has a terrible phone. We're not hearing you, Corey. So you were fired March 31st, and you went to get unemployment. Were you turned down? Okay. We're not going to be able to do this. Let's just forget it. I mean, look, at one thing we do have to do is we have to be able to talk. So, Corey, when you get into a better area where you can communicate with us, we'd be happy to call you back or whatever, but we can't hear you. 303-713-8255. Okay, we're getting a lot of people who are confused about solar. I can tell from the texting. They said, Tom, as far as residential solar systems, are you saying we can no longer get residential solar systems? No, we're not saying that. Let's clarify this. Brooke with Alliance Roof and Solar, they're doing commercial now, but they are servicing some older residential systems that need help. If you need repairs, if you need to figure out about it. But Brooke, new solar systems are still available for residents, for private residents, but they're in the form of a lease.
That's the only way you can get a tax benefit. Otherwise, you can pay full retail rates without any benefits.
And there's no reason to do that. That's ridiculous.
You would not make sense monetarily.
No, you would have a payback of 20 years or more.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be ridiculous. So if you want to get a residential solar system, there are some companies that are leasing them to you. But what you have to be sure is that when they lease it to you, you're getting some of those tax benefits that the lessor is getting. You're the lessee, and the lessor gets tax credits, massive tax credits. Now, make sure they pass some of them on to you so your monthly payment makes sense. It doesn't make sense to simply trade an electric bill for a solar bill. Doesn't make sense at all.
No, not at all.
Unless you're saving money, don't bother doing the conversion. Don't bother, and get the lease payment in writing, and make sure you're saving money. So if you start out saving money with Excel, as you go on into your lease, you'll be saving more and more money, because as electric rates go up, the solar lease payment remains the same. But that's the only viable option for residential solar. Now we're going to talk about being a landlord. She hinted at this, how you can make money from tenants and not harm the tenants at all. You can actually help tenants, but you can make money by being a power company, being the landlord, and having the system practically paid for in full by the government. We'll talk about that coming up on the Troubleshooter Show right after this.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplan today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
Yeah, we got a good lunch hour drive going for us. Haven't had too many problems at all. In fact, a little bit of traffic here and there, but nothing that's holding up the drive very badly. No delays on the highways. 270's running slightly slow out of Commerce. A little sluggish there. No other big problems. I-25 between downtown and the tech center is just 10 minutes. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk Podcast.
I'm Buzz Knight, the host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Join me for an upcoming episode with Stuart Copeland. That's Stuart Copeland coming up on the Taking a Walk podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know, you very seldom hear me say this. This offer from Fix It 24/7 is for everyone with an AC. They want to be your company. They want you to see how good they are at what they do. It's $39 because they want to get into your home, take apart that air conditioner, clean it, refurbish it, put it back together, and show you what a great company looks like. They take a couple of hours. Trust me, $39 is a steal. It would be hundreds of dollars anywhere else. It adds life and efficiency to your furnace and your air, whichever system you have done, and you will have lower utility bills because of it. FixMyHome.com. Book now, just $39. 720-526-3939.
Hi, I'm
Where is everybody? I hear nobody.
Okay, we're here.
We can talk under the cone of silence.
Yeah.
Freaking A, man. Chopper, that was unbelievable. You realize they were only offering $40
I know it.
or
I know
something?
it.
You're a little ways off from having grandbabies, right, Tom?
Yeah, yeah, I'm if ever because of my age and stuff. But
at least he thinks so.
My kids are 21, at 20 and 21.
Well, if, when that happens, I would highly recommend taking the kiddos to Glowing Wild at the zoo.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Denver's talk
It's cooler
station.
than
Online at
because
khout.com.
the weather's nicer, but it's a ton of fun.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, we've been talking a lot about solar, and one guy wanted to know about why, and another topic, why he's turned down for unemployment. Here's the deal. When you're fired for cause, you normally don't get unemployment, but you can protest it. You can have a hearing. And I've said this before. Colorado gives out unemployment like candy. It's almost impossible to be turned down for unemployment. If you are turned down the first time, for whatever reason, you can appeal it and you'll usually win. That you really do. Most of the time, consumers, or I should say workers, employees win in appeal most of the time. Because even though you're fired for cause, all you have to say is it was a hostile work environment, or they didn't train me properly, or they did not give me the proper this or proper that, or they didn't explain it to me. Anything at all, anything that brings up the work environment not being proper, almost any argument you make, the unemployment division will find in your favor and grant you unemployment. In fact, I don't know of any unemployment hearings, not one, that has ever been, and I'm serious when I tell you this, that has ever been ruled in favor of the employer. I don't know of any of them. Now, many times the employer is the employee is so bad they may not file, they would have lost. Maybe that's why. But almost every single time, and every case that I know of, where an employee appealed the decision, they got their unemployment. It's very easy to get unemployment in this state. In fact, some people argue it's too easy. I know people who were drunk on the job, who stole from their employers. I know people who didn't show up for work or walked out in the middle of a workday and they were given unemployment. That's right. I know a guy who literally wasn't even available for work, left his job, and was getting drunk on a beach in the Bahamas every single day and was granted unemployment. So it's amazing to me how much the state of Colorado will bend over backwards for employees. So, Corey, if you were turned down, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You will get unemployment. I'm serious. You will, especially when you said that they fired you for being deficient in an area, and it was an area that you did not get trained in. That unemployment will say right away, well, if you feel you weren't trained properly, you get unemployment. So that's the way it is there. And the same goes, I'm not saying that's an entirely bad thing, although I think unemployment rates are higher because of it. But the state of Colorado also investigates work-related claims. For example, when someone is treated like a independent contractor, and they're really not an independent contractor. They're an employee by definition, but a lot of companies try to cheat the system. They don't want to get involved in payroll. They don't want to get involved in fringe benefits. All they want to do is contract someone under 1099 terms. Now, let me say something. It's a very, very strict thing to be 1099'd. You have to be there are some companies, for example, that 1099 people, and those people discounts them as a contractor. If you try to pay someone as a 1099 contractor and you tell them they're not allowed to sell for that other company and your company at the same time, then they are no longer a 1099 employee. Contractor. They are an employee of yours. In fact, we've had cases, and Mark and I were baffled by it because we had an audit one time, which, by the way, came out with no change. We were doing nothing wrong. But in the audit, what the guy told us just shocked us. I don't know if you remember this, Mark. Do you remember that unemployment, that audit they were doing on our company? And then we started asking questions. And
the most shocking thing I learned was an example that he gave over a landscaper. If you go on to Craigslist and hire a landscaper to come mow your lawn once a week and do some shrub work or whatever, or just mow your lawn, and you happen to be his only customer, you're his only customer, that is your employee.
That's right. And now listen to this. What's worse about that, Mark, is he said, if you hired this guy, let's call him John, and John did your lawn once a week or once every 2 weeks, whatever, and he had 2 other customers or 3 other customers. Let's say that those customers fired him. And so for a month or 2 or 3, you were his only customer. At that time, when you became his only customer, you are then an employer because he is not engaged with anyone else at the time. Even though he's free to engage, if he did not engage with someone else and you were his only customer, he could sue you as an employee and get the fringe benefits and the overtime and all the stuff that comes with being an employee. When I say fringe benefits, they're not required, but I mean whatever benefits would be granted your other employees, he would be entitled to. Now, this goes for house cleaners. This goes for anyone. If you're the only customer, even if they have a house cleaning business, if it's ABC house cleaning business, and they do your house, and they do Mary's house, and they do John's house, and they do 5 other houses, if they, for any period of time, lose those customers, and you're the only customer for a short period of time, during that short period of time, you were to take withholding taxes and treat them as a W-2 employee. And it is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. And I said, but wait a minute. How do I know how many lawns John is contracted to do. How do I know? Do I ask him, by the way, do you have other customers? The guy said, well, maybe you should, because if he's only working for you, you are his employer. Even if you don't restrict him, if he doesn't have another customer, he can make the argument that he was an employee. Now, he has to lie to do it. He would have to say, Mr. Martino would not let me work for anyone else, or I did not have anyone else, and Mr. Martino knew it. He would have to say a fib, but they would go along with him because the proof is in the actual substance of the transaction, which means he doesn't work anywhere else. So that's incredible. We have to take another break. 303-713-TALK. You'd be shocked at the employment laws. Trust me. Renew Home Innovations. If you want the most beautiful custom shower with Italian porcelain directly imported, renewhomeinnovations.com. They customize the shower for your movements in your home, and they take out that ugly combo shower and tub. That's renewhomeinnovations.com.
Now, Impact Traffic.
Out of town, I-25 northbound between Skyview Lane, Toma Road, and Plum Creek Parkway through the Douglas County Castle Rock area. Looks like a stall in the right shoulder has about 5 minutes of delays as folks move slowly around this one. Otherwise, a clean drive throughout the Denver Metro. No complaints on I-25 north and southbound through town. Same goes for I-70 east and westbound. It's easy driving to and from TIA. We were seeing some congestion on 270 westbound around Vasquez. That's cleared up through Commerce City. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
This report is sponsored by the Our American Stories podcast.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll explain why the first black woman elected to Congress, Shirley Chisholm, forgave one of America's most notorious racists. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
Hey, maybe I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I do. I'm going to talk about two of my favorites on referralist.com from the very beginning of referralist.com. Excel Roofing and Frank Duran, the real estate man. I've known them both for around 30 years. Now, Jay Bretz and his son Henry run Excel, where you don't pay a cent until you're content. That makes the consumer always in the driver's seat. If you want to get a price for your roof right now, go to their website, Excel, as in excellent, EXCEL, excelroofing.com. And of course, that motto of you don't pay a cent until you're content is for everything they do. So get a great company on your side. And they also include painting as well. So for all of your home services, excelroofing.com, 303-761-6400. Now, speaking of great people and great heritage, Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. Man, you have to see some of the new technology he has for marketing your home. These drone movies are incredible. Frank sells for more money and faster than most anyone, and he has the stats to prove it. If you want someone to move that property, you call Frank Duran, the realestateman.com. Call him for a free analysis, what your home will sell for, what you'll net, what you can afford. All free, no obligation to list. 303-920-1622. That's Frank Duran, the realestateman.com.
Yeah, I had talking about your unemployment thing. I had an employee say that he worked like an extra 26 hours one week, and everybody on the crew that he was with said he just falsified, essentially stealing from him, right?
And
That'd be theft, and he got
and-
unemployment. Yeah, even with the whole crew signing affidavits. Isn't that nuts?
No, I know it. It's amazing. They side with employees every time.
Yeah. I even had one time where the girl put in her 2 weeks and then she stopped showing up.
Yeah.
And then she tried to file. And then I actually won that case because she just didn't show up to work. But then a year later, they reopened it. And then I had to go through the whole process again.
Would have loved to take this.
So, yeah, isn't that nuts? I don't know.
But no, I totally agree with you.
It's an adventure. being an employer in Colorado.
I know it. Especially with unemployment. I mean, it's amazing what somebody has to do to be fired. You can fire them, but I mean, I had somebody walk out in the middle of my show, a producer walk out in the middle of the show.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
And didn't come back the next day.
No, I'm not I'm only.
I said, you're fired.
Here, but
yeah.
From what I've heard.
Nope. They said, what was her reason? I said, what difference does it make? They said, do you have a policy in writing about that? I said, what do you mean about walking out? I mean, walking off the job? No, I don't have a policy. I mean, it's common sense, right?
Yeah.
They also asked me if I had a policy one time. I had an employee who used company credit card to buy liquor.
What? Was it for like a...
For herself. She was just
every
buying liquor.
Friday
every
for
Friday.
about 2 years.
What?
Yeah. And I said, you owe me this much money, and I fired her.
Yeah.
In unemployment, they said, do you have a policy against the employees using credit cards for themselves? And I said, well, no, I don't actually have a policy written that you may not use this credit card. It's for company business.
Right. They required it. Isn't that like, I don't know why common sense isn't more like,
I don't know.
I don't, it's wild to me.
Here's what's crazy is when I was growing up and we had there were people of my age or a little younger that were into the peace and love and all this. Okay. And I remember it like anything goes, and they had this wonderful, the world couldn't run that way, but they had this wonderful thing about peace, love, happiness, down with the man, down with big pharma, everything's wonderful, screw landlords, screw everybody, and those people grew up to be in power. I mean, I really mean that. I mean, so now we're having laws from people with fucked up heads like that were literally things that would never even be considered back in the day, that they grew up and became adults and still had those same thoughts and made them laws. I mean, things that you wouldn't believe. I mean, think about being a landlord. You cannot evict someone just because. You can't say at the end of a lease, I don't want to lease to you anymore. You must renew the lease unless you have a reason. And the reason has to be acceptable to the state. It can't just be any reason. It can't be.
Yeah.
It has to be acceptable.
And who is pushing for that? Like, what proponent thinks that that's
syndicate across the nation, great commentator.
Thank you, my friend. You started by saying, Dan, you're loaded today. I was going to call my defamation lawyer.
I haven't drank a thing.
Weekday afternoons at 4 on Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino here. Welcome. Let's talk. Phyllis, go ahead. What's on your mind, Phyllis? Welcome.
Hi. I just wanted to reach out to you. I didn't know anyone else to ask this question of, and you're such a wealth of good information. I have a home up in the Erie area, and I have a beautiful large Hunter ceiling fan there with the remote, and it needs some maintenance, and I have no idea whether to go to an electrician. I checked your referral list and who you've got there. But I just
what kind of maintenance? What kind of maintenance does the fan need?
Well, the fan is it's about 18, 20 years old. Had been very good condition, but it probably just needs just a new controller, and that's what I'm thinking anyway. And cleaning, but it's. It's had pretty gentle treatment its whole life.
I think Handyman Hub would be a start. They do great. Okay. They do a great job, and they can do small electrical jobs like that. And they're on the referral list. They've been there for a while, and they're called Handyman.
Okay.
Handyman Hub. I can give you that number real quick.
Got it.
It's a 303 number. Okay, 427-29.
Wait. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Keep going. Give that number out,
All right.
Tom.
303-427-2955. 2955.
2955.
Yeah, 427.
And we got another.
Go ahead,
We
Mark.
have another handyman that just signed up, and I'll tell you what I love about him. Flat rate pricing. Most handymen charge you hourly. This guy is truly flat rate. We're going to have him on the air in the next 3-4 weeks, but it's pretty crazy. He's right out of Castle Rock. He does the whole front range, but he'll come over and give you a bid. And he's got a lot of stuff on his website. Check this out, Tom. He's got stuff on his website like if you want to hang a ceiling fan, there's a flat rate, $75, $100, whatever. But it's My Guy Home Services.
Yeah, look for that on the referral list. My Guy Home Services. More coming up.
All right, hey Phyllis, it's Adam. I'm just gonna make sure you got the information you needed to from.
And then we're going to go to Mark.
Number that Tom gave you. Perfect. Correct.
So, Brooke, do you have to?
Yeah, Mark said it'll be on our referral list for that one too.
Here, I'll give you the number to give her.
Actually, hang on. Mark's gonna give me the number. Let me put you on a small hold so I can grab that for you.
You ready?
Yes, sir. Ready.
720-713-8749.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell her to drop our name.
Got it. All right, Phyllis, I got that number now. It's going to be 720-713-8749. Yes, I did. Yes, 8749. And then Mark wanted me to mention if you mention that that you came from the referral list. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Yes. Of course. If you need any more help or questions, feel free to call back. Bye bye.
Health officials are monitoring 3 dozen people across the U.S. exposed to the Andes strain of hantavirus. It includes cruise ship passengers taken to quarantine centers in Nebraska and Georgia. In Los Angeles, Eric Fleming, a licensed drug addiction counselor who delivered Friend star Matthew Perry the doses of ketamine that killed him, sentenced today to 2 years in prison by a federal judge. This is ABC News. A sentencing hearing underway in Utah for Corey Richens. She's the woman who wrote a children's book about dealing with grief, and then a jury found that she had killed her husband with a cocktail laced with fentanyl.
Eric Richens' father, on what would have been his son's birthday, asked the judge to send Corey Richens to prison for life without the chance of parole.
Accountability matters here. Justice matters. Eric matters.
A jury found Corey Richens killed her husband in an attempt to collect insurance money and start over in life. Her 3 boys wrote letters to the court, read aloud.
I want the judge to know my dad was a good person and I miss my dad.
Alex Stone, ABC News.
Interior Secretary Doug Burgum says a federal bust occurred as a group accused of transporting 3,000 fentanyl pills and more than 50 pounds of other drugs and narcotics. He warned lawmakers, cartels, and organized crime groups are exploiting jurisdictional gaps in tribal communities. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
It started off as a normal day. I felt fine when I arrived at the plant.
Ruth Julius's life was about to change.
Then I dropped my keys. They kept slipping out of my hand. My arm felt numb. A coworker asked me if I was okay, and I couldn't speak. I started to get scared.
Ruth was having a stroke. People around her weren't sure what to do.
They thought I should go home or lie down, but I knew something was very wrong. I wrote 911
No stroke. No decline. Act in time. Call 1-800-352-9424 for more information. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, National Institutes of Health.
KHOW News Time, 103. A school resource officer at Overland High School chased and tackled a student who had a loaded gun this morning. No shots were fired and no one was hurt. Denver facing the possibility of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit from some of the passengers on Friday night's Frontier flight that hit and killed a man.
What? How? Why?
Their attorneys are now asking the city to waive governmental immunity.
Because I got disturbing. Is everyone not like a pussy nowadays? Like, my God. I saw him get hit, and I didn't want to see that. My flight was delayed. Like, I'd understand if. No. Yeah, no, I don't get it. But whatever, we'll probably just write a check and give it to them. That's just what we do.
Impact traffic. Douglas County, I-25 northbound. Police activity with right shoulder block between Skyview Lane and Plum Creek Parkway. About 10 minutes to your drive if you're heading to the Denver Metro. Into town, over on the west end, I-70 westbound approaching C-470. Crash off on the left shoulder, so coming slowly around this one. Back I-25 north and southbound through your driving. Not through the downtown area, otherwise pretty quiet driving throughout town overall. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk podcast.
I'm Buzz Knight, the host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Join me for an upcoming episode with Stuart Copeland. That's Stuart Copeland coming up on the Taking a Walk podcast, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If your AC hasn't been cleaned, you'll have problems. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. Dirt and debris are the #1 cause of breakdowns, and fix it 24/7. The only company offering an extreme clean, tune, and check. A refurbishment for just $39. Others would charge hundreds. As a proud partner of the Colorado Rockies, Fix It performs like pros. Go to fixmyhome.com and book it before it's gone.
May is Military Appreciation Month at Triple J Armory in Littleton. May 1st through the 9th, active duty and veterans get free range time and exclusive military pricing on annual memberships. Plus, buy one, get one free concealed carry classes. Because you serve your country, now protect your family. Also in May is Police Week with free range time, Ladies' Day every Thursday, and Bring a Buddy range specials. The week of Memorial Day is store-wide savings and our best membership pricing of the year. Triple J Armory in Littleton. Train, protect, be ready.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Now, here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GRAND. That's GRAND. Enter it now.
On the hantavirus, should we be worried? Plus he proves ivermectin works for COVID. Plus, Mayorkas says he should have done more. Monica De La Cruz on that and more on the Joe Pag Show. Tonight from 6 to 9 on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome, my friends, to the only show of its kind.
Yes, it is. Sorry,
Go
Mark.
ahead, Tommy.
Keep going, bro. Keep going.
Well, not much more to it. It's the only show of its kind, 45 plus years, solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. 303 Martino, that is the number to call. Let's go directly to Mark. I would love to know what Mark has to say.
Yes, Mark. Go ahead, Mark. Okay, Mark?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I listened to you, my goodness, 4 years ago, and you would take customer after customer after customer for complaints of how to help them, And now all you do right now is just infomercials. You just promote your shit.
Oh, cut him off, please. Did you cut him off? Okay. The guy was just getting a little nasty.
Intoxicated.
Yeah, he's drunk and he's belligerent and vile. We can't have vulgar language on here. 303-713-TALK. Let me explain something. He was saying that we promote a lot of stuff, and we do. Part of the show, and I want to talk about this because I can talk about it because I've been doing it 50 years, 45 in Denver, and here's the bottom line. You know what I would get the most complaints about on my show? I would get the most complaints on my show when I talked about somebody who was good. They would come back to me if that person wasn't perfect, whereas I could go after bad guys all day long. And then years ago, I thought, you know what? There's got to be a place. And I remember talking to Lee Larson about this, who's the GM at the time. I was on KOA, and I remember at the time talking about, I said, I need to have a place to talk about the good guys. And I really do. I want to have a list of good guys, because when I recommend, people would say, Tom, I know you don't like that dealer. Who do you like? And then I'd give a name out, right? And I gave it out casually because I had used him once before. Or who do you like for an electrician? And I would give out a name. And then I'd get a call back sometimes saying, why'd you tell me to go there? I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, wait a minute, I better be pretty careful on who I recommend. And I literally thought at that time, I need to formalize it. I need to get agreements from these people that if they want to be recommended by me, they have to go by a certain standard. They have to be background checked. They have to be policed, and then they're going to be on the list, and they will be approved. And I couldn't just casually give out names, because people were more upset with me giving out names than giving out bad guys and doing the sleaze brigade, right? Because they depended on it. So I thought, if people are going to depend on what I tell them, I better make this a for real deal, where these guys, they must do what we say in a dispute, and they must handle people a certain way. And there's just a certain way of doing business. And we gathered the most wonderful group of people. We did. And we love them. And that's the truth. Okay. And what we require of people is that they just do great customer service and great products and services. Now, we're not saying they're the cheapest. We're not saying they're the most expensive, but they're good quality people. I can actually tell you that I know every one of them. We know them. Some we know better than others, but we stand behind them. We use them. We know the businesses. Listen, I don't want to disparage anybody, okay? But when I say, when I give an endorsement about a roofer or about an auto mechanic or about a furnace or about a system of some kind or a program of some kind, I personally know about it. I've studied it. I've been exposed to it. I research it, and I know it. I know it. I know it almost like an expert, only because I've been doing it for so long. You acquire this knowledge. And then Mark came on board. He acquired the knowledge. We acquire the knowledge. We catalog the knowledge. So when somebody says, I always find it interesting when I hear someone say, this is the only person that makes my list. And I think to myself, okay, that's fine. But who are you? And where is your credibility? I mean, in other words, so many people can have a list, but what does it really mean? I take it personally. I would never, ever recommend anyone that I don't fully love and respect and feel like they will do a great job. That's just the God's honest truth. That's just the way it is. You can't go 45 years in business recommending businesses and tearing down bad businesses. You can't do it and be a phony. You can't do it. It would never work, because people are always, these bad guys are always looking to tear me down. And I can withstand it. Why? Because I do what I say what I do, and I should say we say what we do what we do, and we believe in what we do. When we help people, we don't want to just help them with that one small problem. We want to tell people, where did they go wrong in that transaction? What did they do wrong? How can they do better? And we've been doing that for years and years and years. Where the show has changed a bit, and it happened since COVID, a lot of people love texting. They love emailing and texting, and they send, like right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 texts waiting that I haven't even gotten to, and I have emails. People are used to, some people go to social media. Why they go to social media, I never know, because I look at social media and there has never once been accurate information given out. When people have a problem, especially Nextdoor has to be the biggest collection of idiots I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it's almost like stupid people are attracted there. And they go there, and I'm talking about the people that give advice. They will give such bad advice to people. I think to myself, I feel sorry for those people, because if they truly follow that advice, they're going to be in trouble. You know, I remember putting up an article on Nextdoor about moving companies and how they work and how not to get ripped off. And somebody said, I've been in the moving business 50 years and none of that happens. You're just exaggerating. And then every day on my show, I'd get a call about it. And I know I'm right. But people who read that crap on Facebook Marketplace and Nextdoor are the two worst places in the world, to find contractors and service providers. When I tell you that, I mean that.
I want to jump in here.
Go ahead.
Well, so another thing the guy was saying is the show's like an infomercial. I want to talk directly to that. I guess in a way it is, but these are people we trust, and they bring knowledge to everybody listening. Great examples are like Dan McKenzie or Bradley O'Brien. I can fill 4 hours, Tom can fill 4 hours, helping people understand estate planning, understand protecting their wealth, understand what to do when someone else wants everything in the will, but that's not what the will says. We help so many people out that don't even call by questions from these people on the referral list. And take Brooke. Brooke's sitting right next to you with Alliance Solar. I know 0 other solar companies. In fact, there's not a lot around. But not only can Brooke go out and help with warranty work from defunct solar companies, say it's some kind of a part and there's still a warranty on it, she might be able to facilitate getting that covered by the manufacturer, and you just pay labor. And just understanding solar credits and why it's not cheap anymore. Who else brings that kind of knowledge? Here's someone that's been in the solar business, breathing it for 10, 15 years, maybe even longer, and has the knack to find credit and tax credits and grants for commercial systems. You know how many people have gotten their freaking commercial solar system paid for 100% now their electric company?
I know.
Who would know that information if it wasn't for this show?
I know it. And I'm proud of it, by the way. I'm proud of the information we disperse. Do you know how many people say, Tom, you saved me a bunch of money. I heard about this and I didn't do it, or I did do it, or I think this is right, or this is wrong. So people, feel free to call with criticisms. Don't be vulgar and vile. We always want to improve everything we do.
You can't cuss.
Yeah, you can't do that. But and that guy was a little tipsy anyway. But give us a call if you want to talk. Listen, there are going to always be people who don't like me. There are people who love us and don't love us. Here's my bottom line. I'm serious. You can't do this show without a love for people. I'm honest to God, I truly mean it. I really, really mean it. You have to love people. That's why you want to keep them from getting ripped off. It's like having a brother or a sister or an aunt and uncle. You want to keep them from getting ripped off. And if they are ripped off, you want to tell people, stay away from so-and-so. They're going to rip you off. That's what we do here. Okay. So, and you can call us at any time. You don't have to, you can criticize us all you want. Give us constructive criticism. We love it. Give us feedback on the people you have used, whether they're on our list or not. We talk about things no other show talks about, okay? You can hear politics everywhere else in the world. We talk about everyday life. Everyday life. As I say, the things that make you tick, the things that tick you off. Yes, Mark.
And I'm sorry to jump in again, but look at just what happened today. And this goes out to that hater that called in, the drunk guy. Listen to this, man. We had someone call in 2-3 days ago. Amtrak wanted to give him $40 in compensation. Deputy Chopper got him $1,000. What was he going to do? Hire an attorney? We have recouped over $300 million at no cost for people.
Right. That's right.
Let's take a break, then come back. We got a question for Brooke.
Yeah, we got a question for Brooke. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. More right after this.
Hello, I'm Robert Smigel. I did lots of things. Cartoons on SNL, Conan stuff, Triumph the Insult Comic Dogs, some movies. But now I'm past my peak. So I'm hosting a podcast, Humor Me with Robert Smigel and Friends. Each week, me and my favorite comedians, writers, and whatnots help regular people just like you, presuming you're regular, who have some project or task that they'd like us to help make funnier.
Search Humor Me on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
Hey, if you want to talk about heritage, you want to talk about Gravinas. Do you understand this was started by Granddad, taken over by his son, and now the grandson, Nick, has taken it over? This is a company with true heritage. They've even trademarked the name, 950 West Evans, Gravinas.com. Now, they have 50 lines of windows, multiple lines of siding, they have doors, and they have heritage to honor what they install with their warranties. 303 Gravina. Great prices, great company, great heritage. Gravinas.com. Yes? About what? Oh, no. So, no, your mic was off, so it wasn't interrupting.
It's always been on my list.
Yeah, it's I happen to have family there. Yeah, because my
Martino comes from?
yeah, that's where my family comes from. Yeah. We have roots there. Not in Florence. Florence is just a get together for us.
Running a business is hard enough. Don't make it harder with dozens of apps that don't talk to each other. One for sales, another for inventory, a separate one for accounting. That's software overload. Odoo is the all-in-one platform that replaces them all. CRM, accounting, inventory, e-commerce, HR, fully integrated and easy to use. And built to grow with your business. Thousands have already made the switch. Why not you? Try Odoo for free at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Hail damage? Get help now with the exterior home professionals at Genesis Total Exteriors. They do roofs, siding, stucco, windows, decks, and more. So everything can be handled by one trusted company. One estimate. Think smart. Think GenesisTotalExteriors.com. On my referral list for many years. At referralist.com or GenesisTotalExteriors.com. 303-679-8509. 679-8509.
6-7. Great, dude. I love it.
exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. From the True Green Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and warm today with a high approaching 90. We drop to a low of 50 tonight and then back to the mid-50s tomorrow and Friday. We could see some rain by Saturday. I'm Brenda.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk Podcast.
I'm Buzz Knight, the host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Join me for an upcoming episode with Stuart Copeland. That's Stuart Copeland coming up on the Taking a Walk podcast, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios.
Your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here with Major Marc Mager. Let's go to Tim, who's got a question for Brooke. Brooke White with Alliance Roof and Solar. Go ahead, Tim. Welcome.
Hey, Brooke. How are you?
Good, Tim. How are you doing?
All right.
Oh, good. Hey, just a quick question. What is your opinion on perovskite, silicon cells, and tandem cell technology? Is that ever going to come to fruition for the market?
Okay, Tim, you're talking about what is it called? Perovskite?
Yeah, perovskite. Perovskite.
And it's a type of solar panel?
Yeah, it's a new type of cell that runs 34 to I think 38% efficiency.
I think that right now in the solar space, if they're able to capitalize on that technology and make it domestic content, it's going to be huge. And if the U.S. doesn't get on board to manufacture it, then it won't exist. But what it would do is what he's talking about is right now, the efficiency of solar is about 25%. So it would be a drastic increase in the efficiency of the panel itself.
So you would need you would need less panels, or it would produce way more, is what we're saying. But so how new is this technology? It says here that another thing is, are you talking about the tandem ones? They call them tandem, and I don't know why, but anyway, it's a whole new it's a whole new panel technology, though, completely new. Right now, they're all photovoltaic, right? They all can convert light directly into voltage, right?
Yeah, it's just what chemicals you're utilizing to do that. And I think this is a different set of compounds.
Okay. What do you know about them, Tim?
Well, the tandem technology is actually, they receive the sunlight from both the top of the cell and the bottom from the reflected light. But the perovskite, I believe, is what a majority of the space panels are currently using, because they don't get the heat that we get here on Earth on the cells, so they don't degrade the instant you start putting them up and using them. But it's the manufacturing of them has become a lot more accessible, put it that way. And I just wondered if Brooke had any idea or any industry knowledge of when those might actually go mainstream.
I think it's all about that domestic content. So why that's important is so right now, if you did a solar project with me, and let's say that you'd have 70% of it covered in tax benefits. If we didn't comply with that domestic content, that 70% would drop to 6%. So until you have it manufactured here in the States, it's not a viable product here. Doesn't mean that it wouldn't be useful to use. It just wouldn't be commercially available, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. Okay, that was my question.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Tim.
Brooke.
Absolutely. Have a great one.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
You know, here's the thing. When it comes to solar panel technology, really and truly, people know very little about it. I mean, even people in the business, right? You just depend on the manufacturer to get the best product, right? You go by brand names, don't you? I mean, or are there people, for example, who are there different panels for different things?
So
Or are they all basically the same right now?
No, I definitely have my preferences based on what I've seen.
Based on what though? That's what I mean. Like if people are going out to shop, do they know to ask for a specific panel?
No, usually folks don't. Things that have name brands that they've heard of before, they're usually using. One of my favorite panels to use is Silfab, and most folks don't know Silfab exists, right? And so
And what is it about that panel? That's what I'm trying to get at. What makes a panel desirable?
So what I look for, since I install in Colorado, is what can handle hail, what can handle wind, and what can handle dust. Because we don't get a ton of rain, right?
Okay.
So it's a different environment than if I was installing a system on the East Coast or installing them on like an ocean area, right?
All
Our
right.
environment to make it work the best. Also, like he had said, that technology he's talking about is bifacial, where it's using both sides of the panels. So I use that in my solar fields because I'm not adding a tracking device that has to follow the sun. I'm increasing production and limiting the ability for fault in the equipment, right? Anytime you have a moving component, it's hard to maintain it.
Right.
So you're just looking at your environment. But if I was going to install in Iowa, where you get a third of the sunshine you do here in Colorado, tracking is a more advantageous panel.
Right. Okay.
So I wouldn't need to have bifacial. I need to look at what can move the easiest in that tracking device. So that's what I'm looking for. It's specific to the environment I'm installing in.
Okay, you had mentioned Excel having solar program. What does Excel Energy offer as far as somebody's asking, what is the Excel solar thing you talked about people participating in?
Yeah, so Excel Solar, there's the residential kind and then there's the commercial kind.
Well, let's talk residential.
Absolutely. So Excel receives those same tax benefits to install solar fields. So they're building solar fields on the eastern side of Colorado. And then they're able to say, "Oh, you can buy solar equivalent to what that field is producing here in town, and we will reduce your bill by 10%.
Just by being part of that.
Yeah, because you're helping to fund that project, if you will.
But you're not getting your power from that project. It's just offsetting.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you buy into a system that offsets what you're using,
Mm-hmm.
and you get a discount for it.
Yeah.
And they're available right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Excel is getting, if you're installing in certain places, they're getting 94% of the project covered in tax benefits. So they're out nothing. So giving you a 10% discount, they're still making a ton of money.
So could I, right here in this house, I could say I want to be part of a solar project, and it doesn't have to be close to me. It can just be a solar project I'm part of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Do they have them available all the time?
They are right now actively building more because that requirement.
Then why doesn't everyone become part of it? I mean, why don't they just, why would you not be part of a solar project?
There is no reason, in my opinion, not to if you have zero interest in putting solar on as a personal investment. So what that means is you're still renting power from Excel.
Right.
So if you're more interested in owning that power and having a lower rate forever, that's different than if you're just getting a discount on a rent from that.
Okay, got it. Right.
But if you never want to get solar yourself, absolutely, it's a great option. Go for it. You have zero worries. It's not your responsibility that the solar's working. You don't have to worry about anything, and you can still save money.
Wow.
right?
Yeah. I mean, there's no downside. What is it called?
It's if you go to like solar field project or on your Excel bill, I think they have it named
Okay.
something different. You can sign up for it there.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, if you can hang on, we'll talk to you about a car title coming up. Okay. I got to take a quick break. Excel Solar, she says it does pay for itself. It's a good program. You're not tied to a system. Once you're part of it, you don't have to stay part of it, do you?
No, you can opt out of it anytime.
See, that's a perfect place to put your money if you're interested in solar and you want to save some money. So we have more coming up, 303-713-TALK, waterpros.net. Remember, if you're looking for pure drinking water at the kitchen sink, you will never find the reverse osmosis systems he offers. One without a tank that the water comes right out of your main faucet, drinking water purer than anything you can buy, better than bottled water, and it's only $1,800 fully installed. Waterpros.net, 303-862-5554.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station. Ryan Schuling, mornings at 6. Dan Kaplis, afternoons at 4. This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW. Now, impact traffic.
Pretty quiet drive throughout the Denver metro. Some normal busy spots cropping up on I-25, both north and southbound through the downtown area. Slower speeds between Alameda and I-70 in both directions. Some stop and go on the 6th Avenue eastbound off-ramp to I-25 southbound. Northeast of there, I-270 westbound, your usual afternoon slowdowns between I-70 and Vasquez. To DIA, I-70 eastbound slow between Peoria and Pena Boulevard. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
This week on Red Pilled America.
I definitely believe the moon landing was faked.
Conspiracy theories are everywhere. Why are they spreading? To find the answer, we tell the story of the man that made and lost a fortune on them, Alex Jones. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
GreatWesternBuildings.com. I love talking about these guys because they are a true steel building factory. So they're direct to the consumer in all 50 states, in fact, internationally. I love them because they're right here in Colorado, employing Coloradans and offering great deals. Do you know they can do giant buildings like churches or big kind of shopping centers and all kinds of warehouses? They can do small projects like garages or barns. They can do an airplane hangar. They can do a shop, a warehouse, whatever it is. It's direct to the consumer, 100% American steel, guaranteed for life, right here in Colorado. GreatWesternBuildings.com.
Troubleshooter Show. Please hold a moment.
So all of these companies that were just slamming people into systems, they're all out of business now, aren't they? I mean, who's still doing residential solar?
Who's servicing it or who's putting in new
Selling, yeah, who's selling and putting them in?
I think the only folks that are still selling it are the ones that are tied to GCs. Like Namaste in Boulder is tied to GCs since Boulder has required solar for their new builds for so long.
Well, Tesla's still selling it.
Yeah, they have a lease though. That's why.
Yeah.
They do lease systems at Tesla. So does Sunrun. But Sunrun is not in Colorado anymore. They got kicked out of Costco too. So I don't know all of those intricacies. They were also in Home Depot.
So Tesla's a pretty good company, though. It is Tesla, the Tesla company, right?
So their first round of power walls were they're pretty bad. They were at I would say a 40% fail rate out of the box.
Oh God.
But now that we're on the Powerwall 3, I have yet to have any issues working with them. Their customer service is a little tricky to get a hold of.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
But past that, I've got really no major complaints. The only issue with Tesla is that If you have a Tesla system and you've got 3 panels, all 3 panels are tied together and then they go into the inverter. So if you have an issue, you don't know which panels cause it.
Series.
Whereas other ones are individualized, so it's easier to do service cases.
They're all parallel. So the other systems, every panel goes to home run to the inverter?
Yeah, they have either an optimizer or they have some sort of device that allows you to see that difference.
Isolate it.
Yeah, and Tesla doesn't have that yet. So it's extra wiring to do for the installer on our end, but yeah, we haven't had any real problems with Tesla besides just their customer service being slower.
On your commercial systems, do you buy a complete system or do you buy components and put it together?
I mean, I'm still buying panels from someplace, I'm buying racking from someplace, and then I'm buying inverters. Solar Edge is my favorite inverter to use and company to work with. They do the best customer service and they have the best product in my opinion. And so that's what I do on my commercial projects with, is Solar Edge. But they're just an inverting company, whereas Tesla is vertically integrated. So they produce the parts and they service and they have their own sales team. You know, they're different structure. Absolutely. But yeah, it's pretty tricky to find folks that do residential anymore at all. When we go to like our wholesaler, they've definitely laid people off and there's less folks that are in that space doing stuff. It's a lot less for just the buzz around when we go in there.
Test Amazon's delivery time because they said they'll get this monitor mount to me today.
Like last year, if I were to try to find an electrician to come on for my crew, I'd probably have to pay them between 45 and 55 an hour. Now I can find somebody for 25 to 30.
Why not?
Why?
Because that industry got cut. So people are just trying to find jobs wherever they can.
I just don't think it's possible. Because the overnight's ridiculous enough.
Not, supply and demand, obviously, but I always like to make sure my guys are taken care of, so I don't.
That just.
I make sure my guys make like at least $72,000
Retirement
a year
money
because that's what
safe
Denver.
at mymoney.myway.com.
To survive, to work full time and pay your bills.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. Apple Air has a tradition since 1988 for heating and air conditioning. It's run by the Terry family. I've known Todd and his sons and the family from the very beginning. I came here in 80. They started in 88. Apple Air, that's air with an E, appleair.com. The great pricing, great heritage, great value, great warranties. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with this company. 303-733-2813. And you want to talk about tradition and love for people? That's appleair.com. Let's talk about an issue with a car title, and that's from Joel. Joel, what's going on with you? Welcome to the show, Joel.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
So there's a few things. I bought this car from Universal Auto Sale. It's like basically in, I don't know, England not England, Inglewood.
When did you buy it?
So I went and bought literally 5 months ago.
Okay.
And so like the day that I drove it for about 30 minutes, just to test drive it, make sure it was okay, because it's a used car, and it had 89,000 miles on it or so.
What kind of car?
And so I took it and drove it around. It's just a Buick Encore.
Okay, what year?
So I've never bought in a Buick Encore. It was a 2014.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and there's certain cars that I only buy. Like I buy Toyotas and I buy Fords. That's really all I really buy. I don't really go outside that. And then every now and then we'll buy like a Honda, because those are very dependable vehicles and they don't seem to have problems very much. But I was kind of in a bad situation with money wise, and that's why I went this route.
Yeah.
And so when I bought this car, I was like, all right, cool. There's no engine lights on for 30 minutes, and I should have drove it longer than 30 minutes. So I went back, bought the car. It was it was, I don't know, about $7,000 for it. And then drove it home. And then on the way home, guess what? The engine light came on, and I called them and I said, hey, I'm going to return the car and I don't want this car. And the guy's like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, it's the same day I bought it. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with since then. I took it back the next day and I said, you guys got to fix this car. This is bullshit. So
hold on.
Did you get that, Dragon?
Dragon, get that for a sec here. Okay. Got it. I'm gonna just have him talk to him off the air. I'm gonna take the other call right now, and then we'll go back to him. But just let him hold on. Bob, when you say nasty words, we have no choice but to take you off the air and wait for the delay. I mean, we have no choice but to do that. Bob, you have a question on a timeshare. Go ahead, Bob. What's going on?
Yeah, I can only say it's a friend of mine that got involved in a timeshare deal, and of course he wants to get out. He used to advertise for somebody, then I understood that they were nothing but crooks. Do you recommend?
No. I never advertised for crooks. I refused.
No, wait. We had
timeshare exit team
right. For a little bit.
And in the beginning, they did a pretty good job. As soon as I examined their contract and found what I did not like, we stopped advertising for them and we picked up a really good one on a referral list. So we do have someone, Bob, that's really good.
All right, if you give me that information, please.
Yeah, it's the Finn Law Group. And you can find them at referralist.com. They're called the Finn Law Group, and they really help people, and they do it the honest way. So it's Finn Law Group, and I'll get you that number. It's 855 346.
855.
Yeah, 855
Yep, 855 346.
Yep, 6529.
Sorry, I couldn't get that last part.
6529.
6529. Let me repeat it, just make sure I got it. 855-346-6529.
Excellent. Got it.
Thank you so much.
And they do the real deal. You can trust them, okay? And they do it for a flat fee based on how much they have to do, and they have a pretty good schedule. They do it well, and they don't flim flam you. Some of these other get out of timeshare companies, they're not real. They're not real. They end up cheating you as much as the other people do. So be careful on that. It's terrible. Timeshares, people, why do you buy timeshares? Now, Joel, I just have a real quick question. I just want to tell you a couple things. We'll take a break and I'll come back to you, I promise. Joel, I just need to tell you something that I need to tell you, not because I like telling you this, but truly, if you bought the car and you had a problem on the way home, it truly is a done deal. If they want to be jerks about it, they don't have to do anything at all because you bought the car as is. Most people, I would think, if you're driving home and a damn check engine light comes on, they would fix it for you. Did they refuse to do anything?
So they tried to fix it, and so they took it back, and then there was 3 weeks basically that I kept going to and from because they never fixed it. So, and that's why I kept going back, and then finally they were like, "Yeah, we're not trying anymore." And so that's why I just
What's wrong with it?
It's like,
what's wrong with it?
The check engine light just keeps coming on, and it says different things every time the check engine light comes on. So the car will drive.
But did you get it? But the check engine light means something, though. Did somebody analyze it? Did you take it to a real shop that said, "Hey, here's why"?
Yes.
And what did they find out?
Yes, I took it. They said it's just parts of the engine air stuff. So literally, there's been things that have been replaced on that, but it could just be. I'm not really even sure. Like, I'm not a massive mechanic on cars. I'm more of a mechanic for elevators than anything else.
Okay. we have someone you can take it to figure out what it is. If we find something that they did to hide something or to cheat you, that's different. But if it just could be normal maintenance, but until we figure out what's wrong with it, we can't say you were cheated or anything. I think that you should take it to Sheridan Auto Tech and let him run a full diagnostic. It only costs $120 for them to go through that entire car. And it would be well worth it.
Well, there is something that did remove, and they put a cap on it, so that it isn't like it's a commercial vehicle, if you know what I mean. Like all the commercial stuff isn't done because they've removed something and just put a cap on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means.
And your mechanic will be able to tell that it's not everything from like when they basically
we got a break, Tom.
Okay, let me take this. Let me take this break, and we'll talk to you right after this. Oh, this is terrible because this
traffic.
Oh, God, people buy fucking cars and don't get them checked out. I just can't. They just do it over and over and over.
I-70 in both directions.
Yeah.
Some stop and go on the 6th Avenue eastbound off-ramp to I-25 southbound. Northeast of there, I-270 westbound, your usual afternoon slowdowns between I-70 and Vasquez. To DIA, I-70 eastbound slow between Peoria and Pima Boulevard. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
This week on Red Pilled America.
I definitely believe the moon landing was faked.
Conspiracy theories are everywhere. Why are they spreading? To find the answer, we tell the story of the man that made and lost a fortune on them, Alex Jones. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
DiscountBath.com will get you discounts on baths, hence the name Discount Bath. But truly, Chris and his team will give you the best deal on a bathroom remodel. Beautiful bathrooms. He'll do a walk-in shower, for example, for $9,888, fully installed. A beautiful, complete walk-in shower. And he'll do a complete bathroom remodel or any part of it. He'll put in a brand new bathroom if you want. 720 583. No, I'm sorry. Let me give you that right number. Here it is, 720-979-2322. That's discountbath.com. All of the design work, the upfront, the plans, the estimating, all free of charge. Give them a call, talk price, and see if you can't find the best deal that our people are reporting. Discountbath.com, 720-979-2322.
Done right.
Like 20-ish pounds, and the limit on that is around 20-ish pounds.
Okay.
So it should be fine.
You got the right screws and everything, and the proper back plate?
Yeah, I kept all of them when I bought the monitor. So it should, everything hopefully should go good. Should. Never monster mounted or monitor.
Yeah, worst things that happen is just going to go...
Yeah. Yeah. I've mounted like 95-inch monitors by myself just fine at Best Buy, but this scares me for some reason. Oh God, those 95s were awful. I'm like a quarter of the size of it, and I'm trying to mount it by myself.
Okay, Joel, where does it stand right now with your car? Where does it stand right now? Tell me what's going on with it right now.
So the engine light's on right now. It'll run. It's just if I take it any higher than 65 miles an hour, then the engine light starts flashing like it's going to blow up. Basically, that's what that means. Is pull over right now because your car's going to have problems. But there was also other stuff that's going on as well, like the actual ownership title, the packaging had the wrong miles on it. So that's another thing that's holding us up, and I can't do anything because they have to send it back to the people they bought it from to try and get that title. Because literally the title isn't going to work because I already went to Colorado to try and get new license plates, and they will not renew it unless I have one. Because when I got it was 89,100 miles, and then the one that they sold me, the paperwork they sold me was 89. The actual on the title was 89,950, which it was 800 miles more than what it should have been, and that's why the state of Colorado won't allow me to do certain things either. He literally won't let me get a license plate until.
So, Joel, hold on. You mean to tell me, in bottom line, they can't give you a title?
Well, they gave me a title, but I had to give it back to him so that way they could try and send it back to the previous owner to change the miles.
Okay, and when do they say that'll be done?
They said it would be done a month ago, but it's been 5 months almost. Like, they just keep progressing and progressing and progressing and progressing. There's nothing I can do. All I can do is call them and keep saying stuff and say, hey, come on, let's go. Let's get this done. And
all right, we need to put someone on. We need to put someone on this case for you, Joel. You're going to need some help. We need to make some calls for you. Listen, there's good news and bad news, okay? The bad news is no matter what's wrong with it mechanically, you bought it as is. That's going to be on you. It really is. It's going to be on you for not getting it checked out. But unless they did something to deceive you, like they covered something up on purpose that they knew was wrong with it. I doubt that's the situation, but I'm hoping you can get a good analysis done from SheridanAutotech.com. I'm serious. He can tell you why the engine light is coming on. Now, here on the paperwork, that might be your saving grace. because if they can't get that straight, they have to undo the deal. So, Axe, would you do me a favor and get his information, and let's give this to Deputy Chopper to look into, okay? He knows a lot about these car issues, and then we'll do that, okay? Meanwhile, don't forget, we have AllianceRoofandSolar.com.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Time.
You're clear.
Stay connected with
All right.
all of us at 630 KHOW.
See you guys.
iHeartRadio app. This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
There are so many choices when it comes to listing your home, but only one Frank Duran. So anyway,
results for more than 30 years.
Good to see you.
Ultimately,
Let me
I've
just
seen
get
every
out of
kind
this
market. I've
thing
been through
here.
the good, the bad, everything in between.
You look great.